obia ebehunu kwan time ye be start dwumedie e ya nopa 8 o'clock on next week Saturday anopa 8 ne ahase etiesre ebia na obitie waye dwuma anaso opadwuma bi aka de oye ho a obetumi aba workshop ibi ebi nso na sebe wapadwuma che onye benya awetimi aba workshop ibi na ebetimi aboa pa ma menni kan fa number ne ntuja
sure
ebia na obitika mu na otie
no correct
yes the number no body atwere ehun behia pa number no 0244.
My brothers and sisters, the problems we face are real, but so are the solutions. We can rebuild our economy, we can create jobs, we can restore faith in governance, but we must commit to the hard work of change. You were not appointed to occupy space. You were appointed to solve problems. Let me remind you of the social contract we have entered into. The Ghanaian people expect us to deliver, and we must not with excuses, but with results. I've said before and I repeat now, this is the legacy term of my presidency. I intend to make it count. I intend for it to matter, and I expect that every member of this administration will do the same. We must work with a sense of urgency, and President Jonathan spoke about the 4-year term. Our young people are tired of waiting interminably. Our farmers, our workers, our entrepreneurs, especially our women and youth, want to see policies that work for them. They want fairness, they want opportunity, they want to live in dignity and prosperity. Indeed, they are not asking for handouts. They're asking to be given a fair shot. And let's give them just that. The task before us requires leadership that is empathetic, that is disciplined and accountable, leadership that is not defined by titles, but by service, that is not defined by slogans, but by substance. And so I issue this challenge to each of you to lead your sectors with vision and integrity, to champion innovation, make decisions based on facts and data and not on guesswork. Spend public funds wisely and judiciously. Reject opulence. And never forget, your first duty is to the people of Ghana and not to your own political survival, not to the applause you will get, and not to your personal gain. I want each of you to leave this retreat with a clarity of purpose and with the humility to keep learning. This job is not about knowing it all. It is about listening. For example, I'll stay true to the values. And please remember, when any of us fall short, I will not hesitate to act. I didn't think that was what you would clap for. Let us leave here with renewed determination. Let us work not for applause, but for results. Let us lead with honor, and let us remember always that the true measure of our success will be the lives we touch and the legacy we leave behind. And finally, let me remind us all that the destiny of our party and our future success depends on the legacy that this current administration will establish. And so we must give it our all. We must work together to make our party's future successful. I therefore have the privilege and honor to declare this executive leadership program duly open.
I thank you and happy birthday to all of us. On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the Gabonese Republic, Head of State and Head of Government. The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency.
Thank you, Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. At this 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, I'd like to speak about Africa's role in the future of this organization. However, it's impossible to do that without first considering the collective role that Africa played in its founding, which was small and relatively insignificant. Of the 51 member states involved in the founding of the United Nations in 1945, only 4 were African: Egypt, Ethiopia, Liberia, and South Africa. It is important to point out that the United Nations came into being in the aftermath of World War II because of the inability of its predecessor, the League of Nations, to avert a large-scale global conflict, which had been its guiding purpose when it was founded in 1920 at the end of the First World War. Out of the 42 founding member states of the League of Nations, only 3 were African: Liberia, the Union of South Africa, and Ethiopia. Egypt was to join later in 1937. Africa's overall participation in the organization's founding was minimal and relatively unimportant. That's because before all the other talks and meetings, representatives from a group of 14 nations gathered in Berlin for a series of discussions that began in 1884 and which led to the partitioning and formal colonization of the African continent, which is also called the Scramble for Africa. It has famously been written that past is prologue. Well, in the past, the majority of the 54 nations that now comprise Africa were never offered a seat at the table where plans for a new world order were being drawn. But, Madam President, as fate would have it, the tables are turning, and Africa's role in the authorship of whatever is yet to come for this world is going to be huge, and it will be consequential. According to this organization's own projections, by the year 2050, more than 25% of the world's population is expected to come from the African continent. Additionally, by 2050, 1/3 of all young people aged between 15 to 24 will be residing on the African continent. So you see, the future of this world is African. Allow me to say this once again a little louder for those of you in the back. The future is African. Already today, Africa is a catalyst for human potential and development, as well as for economic reform and ecological stability. Africa is a catalyst for systemic change. If this reality, which is fact-based and straightforward, seems provocative or unsettling, perhaps it's because you are viewing it through the lens of centuries of filters, colonialism and imperialism, and the resulting implicit bias. Maybe you are unaware of the resilience of African nations or their remarkable ability to make a strong comeback just when you think it's safe to count them out. That is what is happening right now in my own country, Ghana. Our constitution limits leaders to 2 4-year terms. In January, I was sworn in for a second term, which, let me point out, was non-consecutive with my first term. Our currency, the Ghana cedi, was rapidly depreciating, faced with rising inflation, a huge debt burden, and low morale amongst our citizens. My new administration settled down quickly and embarked on an ambitious program of comprehensive transformation designed to restructure Ghana's economic foundation and enhance our competitive standing globally. We refer to this process of recalibration as our reset agenda. In just 8 months, we have achieved significant reduction in inflation from 23.8% in December 2024 to 11.5% in August 2025, restoring price stability for our citizens. Additionally, our currency, the Ghana cedi, has appreciated considerably against other currencies, with Bloomberg reporting it as the best performing currency in the world at one point. Our improved sovereign credit rating reflects increasing investor confidence in our economy. And our 24-hour economy initiative promises to transform our economy. And there's a renewed willingness amongst our people to trust that their elected officials have Ghana's interests at heart and that we're progressing together. Madam President, I believe that in honor of this milestone celebration, the United Nations should also embark on a process of serious recalibration and establish its own reset agenda. Since the organization's founding, the number of UN member nations has nearly quadrupled. And quite frankly, it is not the same world that it was back then when the UN...
So I think I have my senior producer, Ernest Kwame Kwachi, and Kwame Kwachi will join us in the studio. Will join me anyway. Now, one my background kakrabi to the birth of Citizen Show on Accra FM. Kwame, happy birthday to us.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to Citizen Show.
Yeah.
Hey, Kwame, Enchebao.
Papa.
7 years.
7 years.
Hey. Hey, Kwame, moi to go in there. Oh, yes, go can call out Kwame.
Papa Matias.
I was here. Momo, and Yadi Papa. When you have flames, you know. Flames in the Debbie flames. Because 7 years. 7 years. Kwame, so the Citizen Show, the birth of the Citizen Show, and today is 7 years.
Yeah.
My background, Kakra.
Okay, Commander, but that's it. Now, me, it's Papa, because the birth of Citizen Show, no, Kwabena Bobie Ansah. That's in the simple term, but maybe breaking it down.
Where you are breaking it down?
Yes, the birth of Citizen Show, Kwabena Bobie Ansah say, show no, Nibibia from A to Z, the commander himself from the starting. Because I remember the first day of me called me say, "Meme producing." That was my happiest day ever.
Oh, I see.
Because I remember when over Asempano and I'm with you.
Yeah.
I didn't, and man soon died that. Say, meet me share or not. Me know, me kai say, me free a chair. Because I'm running Yanyan says, oh, back right from no. Me free a chair say quine beat me at the hammer. Meet me abe bois. I try say, oh, no problem, or no be dinkomo. So from there, I remember Monday. We say show no started Tuesdays, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yes.
I remember Monday.
Saturday or Rich.
Na yo Roman Rich.
Yeah.
My a production guest never, but I remember an estado. Then one lawyer, very finishing. Number two. And later Peter Nkama. Yeah, Peter Nkama.
And
I would do.
Yes, I would do.
Mahama.
Yes.
Then Charles McCarthy.
Yeah, Charles McCarthy.
Then
247.
Yes, Onugosu Chiapa.
Oh, Adams.
Yeah.
Then Adams. So these were the people. Jonathan.
Yeah.
These were the people I know started.
Yeah.
Then I remember Charles McCarthy. Yes.
Then now one edit TV. No, Indum newspaper. No. Today.
Today yes. Newspaper.
The main structure say we use the media to focus.
Exactly.
Media guys.
Yeah.
Then I remember Osetutu of Rainbow.
Yeah.
Never join. Then we saw bus open. We Akwesinsia.
Yeah. My brother.
Yes.
Yeah, my brother Akwesinsia.
Then one guy Metro TV.
Yeah.
Mrefinity Oka Omo news guy. Tomuna na media.
Sure.
And now it was great.
Sure.
Yes, it was great. Now from 7:30 to 10.
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. Then Saturday morning. Account. Yeah, then from there, show no be super pepem. And I'm not saying.
Kwame, so 7 years, what do you think?
Yes, 7 years. I remember 7 years from back me chamfonia. Show ne pija. Yes, in the night, evening, you know, me kind of baby and a beautiful say, oh, show I in 19 and now Monday afternoon. How is going to work? And Obia Edwin dance here. Afternoon, from head to toe, show an introduction, right? To say yebe porno, back to back. It's if one kasa Edwin dance here say, more fire, more there's a pressure on the show and everything.
Great. Me say, adia ba kuna mekaya manage pa. During a year, sa omo bi akoso modam no ema ensu ko yirifa nkrofo and citizen show Accra FM class media group involvement was great.
Yes, papa
bibia me fida.
Yes,
say oye adwuma na ontimi mfa humanitarian aspect nka ho a na adwuma na ye mfa so bi ani so.
Yeah.
Apart from that, there are some few people who are through the citizen show. Omonyamwa, mekaisa kolebi na emse neni.
Yes.
No opek lens. Yeah, beti mi amandi esuya de.
Yeah.
Ya na ni parents de ne buy.
Sure.
And it me secure be mano through any be wabruchi. Etimi ebe boy.
Then Kwame Chano unse uko usua filling station ewo unse yekucha video bi say
yes you know what chamna kesi
pa menu ka say dey be retwema me proud menu ka say omo twa nyina asphalt omo cover
esu nyina yeah
samna na bi minyeso the BBC bi
yeah
and we did that thing yeah no omo ko yeah ni then the following week omo the asphalt echo
Faso, yeah. Me can say Ghana Highways for Free.
Yes.
Say program be normal at.
Yes.
Into Ombeko yes. And later.
Yes,
if you was for no crowd be free.
Yes, a free.
Say Omo Baba be inama. Anyway, that's a good impact. But Nina Muno so Mesume Dawase.
Sure.
Mesume Dawase. Say when it comes to production. Any the hoster if say coordination in ya affect show no straight up so me baby I may adwuma bia no me producer is my best friend there wherever I've worked with Dominic Kisi Kojo Preko Kanjaga Nana ya Brefo I am a producer that and there be me kind of ho me home because baby me producer here adwuma bia no me producer na my best friend say no maba akokura me nchini ntia ne china me ne nana ya abrefo ne Kojo Preko abechini no Ghana na Dominic Kisi echini wurade me twe omo asesa
Kojo keka
me twe omo asesa grada sa na adwuma na no wadabi na anadwo so ne fa plan
yes
we aba me nkomo nye ade sa na mitimi di nkomo ti ebi wo a Dominic Kisi utimi se wa bra next koja wonso ne mu akon kakra na sata na randi abenum mene randi abenum wo base bi wo asalam down Yetiwa na Dominic Pie ya nso da bi abobọ na tare ya no opie ya randi abese akwa no a why to say teacher ni no why say people's teacher no all basaro oh nyenu hunipa so it's good I think we have had our own ups and downs adwuma de ye kura na ya mfensie ni a sometimes we need to agree to disagree
sure
yenema adwuma na ye de so I'm grateful and I'll say thank you so much for the 7 years partnership.
Sure,
We're a
sure.
partnership. And you're back for. But we can't leave Nanotu out.
Yeah, Nanotu.
Nanotu, and so I am very supportive.
Yeah.
Gaga.
And only say, Commander, only say, Omo Amabetna, Namiadom, one more quick Abetna tuning na no. Either say Omo ha Namo outside, Omo be from. They are doing work based on this show.
Yes.
Based on this show.
Yes. Nana me Jakon.
Because Jakon the first show our host to a citizen show.
Yeah, I know.
Yes,
I know. I minim Nana me Jako da.
Yeah.
But na minim say or that capacity.
Yeah.
So the first day of host to na me fear, and I was like, okay, so she can do it.
Yeah.
Also your system no entire ma quite woman grow.
Yeah.
We don't allow women to show what they can do. We think say I keep on telling people once a while you try a mouse morning show.
Yeah.
Obi radio station. Now you from despite to constitute about my morning show. Then I'm like, so you want to tell me a man soon to me yana? They can do it. Just give the person opportunity, encourage her, give her a push. Chale man of him, no?
Yeah.
And I'm catching so ubi can't be channel. Be a kankwasi asema kankwasi.
Say the atrasu.
So atrapo. But does it. I mean,
Musa Dankwa nyekra.
Anyway, Musa Dankwa is using data. He is an academician.
Yes.
And also use microphone until Obia on the right.
Yes.
Obia on the right. Yeah. The fact that you do an academic work, does not mean say whether negative or positive, so we go human is to talk. So we go talk. We cause over for we go talk. But as to whether you talk or no, so be better no binti no see another thing. So that is it. And you rent to me free a year. Your friend is saying Okwabena, from day one. Okwabena has been with us, and waboye pa takrade for normal tea and can sunyane for normal tea and can.
Adishi FM.
It has been great. And kere free Kobe Fiagbe. Oh, Kobe. Kere free Kobe Fiagbe, my senior, my own senior.
Yes.
My own senior, Kobe Fiagbe. Also boy pa right from the onset. But ninyi muno I say hey Sakuta Menga etigo.
Oh, Sakut.
Also you rent me fino. But me shadow friends a producer Ernestado. Ernestado is also she commander what can say me Mecca 7 years a day, my uncle Fee Furiata, thank you so much. Matonka and Yami Inshaw, Uncle Fee. Uncle Fee so Jinayachi papa. Uncle Fee so Jinayachi Onia Jumache Empenin for ne ahim for or more show interest in the citizen show. But Kwame Oba, our fans, your fans no omo ye be papa your fans na ye be papa and I think say omo deserve it divine in chroma omo be can be I can't leave out Listowa Nana Kusipoku ene yenua Kwadwo Yaboa nom constantly especially yebeto aba no mu no free start time no omu gina musa so Listo nana ya
how I wish Listo
adwuma kakra
yes
and Listo will show up and nana ya baby a obi ano Yedase pa citizen show and
then most of government CEOs
yes
from Mensa Thompson
has been with us from day one back to back yeah, Mensa Thompson, very wonderful friend and a brother and when you be an AC when you say me free Asantemanpo as of Asantemanpo Mensa Thompson is free Asantemanpo suta.
Wow.
Yes, a chef one and a
wow.
Madam Uncle, Obina prompt to say, hey, then I'm on for me and saying, anyway, so, my main for us here, the NDC national chairman,
yes,
no about FM,
yes,
show Bako. Sami Javine Mahada, right?
No, we
once, twice. Yeah, it's true. Akugan, Shata, Chief Binding, you know, Madi, but I think Dr. Maria Usi, yeah, Dr. Maria Usi, Mago, Abigail, Elom. Kwambia and Timnina
Amanda Oche.
No, so Amanda de ono show ni ene dia.
Yes.
Amanda de ono show no ono ane dia.
Yeah.
De wachre bia no ono ane ye. Amanda de wachre bia mi amara Amanda. Amanda Amanda baby I will be I feel why. Yeah no my feel but Charlie ya na person me share me ho so.
E come so.
E was citizen show kwa so. My sweet Amanda anyway.
Yeah.
And o share your fans. Omo ebinu a omo ne ye hyase lawyer Ansah sorry Martin Pebu team no term pa
lawyer Jidi Tamaklo
oh dabi ono de so oye owner
yes
ono wo shares e wa ha edu Jidi Tamaklo de ono o shares o ti obetibi asresa ono o shares
yeah lawyer Daud the court cases no back to back
wa bro
pa
wa bre pa da would abre aw Charlie
pa why
me bompa say nyame ombe man baby ahye
sure
da would asem no odwene ho
papa for year recently hopes in na no two interview you know
yes
but Daud ana
oh okay yeah ekoye la Daud fantastic Felicity Chasakowa Felicity Nafu Felicity Yacho Obabesia what them first this chese anadwono ye man kura ye na ye bomb pempe free police station we see ahwehwe no ni ababa be hu wo ewo cantonment wushim na me makogina kire ara watiem hey Bobie so you haven't been looking for me eh now say how's all the bar how's all the bar oh chawasem na police ni say unka wanu ntumo make man ntum
Felicity
chale wa bro lawyer chum lawyer
Berima
you can see about there courage TDC
yeah TDC
I think say courage say you share ne energy ni sika was spend ewo the citizen show any year ho you can't man for Gini. I'm telling you, that's TDC, MD.
Yeah.
Say you can't man for Gini. Na abrochire fo a wo mo so ye mu. Mentimi mu bo.
Amudonson. Because they love the show.
And abrochire fo no. De bia ya me kan se mi say. Enye ye ho fenti o.
Yeah.
Eye anamon no ani etu no. Na omo so ye mu. That's a Kwame to be etimi tu kwan na company bibia ni ho
kra
na abrochirefo ya na bezo so ye mudi akwa ba nti owa no mo ne yakọ kakra owa de no mo so na no mo akọ kakra. But Kwame, na what is the future for the citizen show? Na catch it for.
Okay, the main catch it for say citizen show stay forever. Because said the okay no, we don't pamper politician. I mean, who said what pamper politician?
Said the anya
either NDC or MPP.
Na the anya
me who say inti show no feature or bright because yemfoa hosting for bonus so is it so na inti we hwa oba ma be transfer bia no afa the same star omumfoa bonus so enya
we move on.
And one thing I like about you, your fairness.
You
say
need
I
to be
can't
fair.
be a semwa and the panel say yankania woman pan opportunity to say it.
Yeah.
So per se you apologize and that your fairness no I hold do show no.
Hey, so what say my car say man can you na some me patch out there ne kan asem you nenka so mo bi ente and my mo bi ate and aso on person Adam say ne kwele wo mo matene me yiye furu mu asum aka ente bi
Rebecca ye ne saaka enya dia over 40 something
Kwame in this one kasa na ide
oh dey
one kasa na ide
Foko mama we ya becho
wo
o say mi dan we dia ka o mo de beka ho
nka wo mo de beka na beka
Seven by no more wow.
Or more wine. We are commander Jaisa. Who could very much anyway, Yamin saying
amen.
Yeah, Obika unico, but yentimi entra debia. So there one day somebody must take over.
Yeah.
The most important thing they say. I believe so be a mayor juma be am pese me ja footprint.
Yeah.
I've worked with Hello FM and to date obi and me prepare the memories.
Yeah.
Or Hello FM. I worked with Love FM. Maybe Love FM was my beginning point. Until one of my me and drafted BBR.
Yeah.
But Hello FM me free one me ja omo Saturday akokwa bon.
Wow.
Yes. Then
and it's still there.
It's still there. Yeah. Multimedia with Asempameko no meja womo kukrantumi.
Yeah.
Omo the brande womo kakra. And when him kukrantumi, it's so funny how I got the name. Now my name is boss Jimmy Agla. He's now the general manager for Love FM and Isra FM. Yeah. If you come say be snack ko near Bakra.
Yeah.
Tie fa Satan ye ba ye fa Koforidua na yewura abosom dan bi mu Kwame pienu na ni pa ye se wodem so wodem bradi nyankopɔ gigamambu na me boss say Kwara no me na mbusa say boss ɛyin fa ne adui no see kokrantumi nam say hey we di okukura wuntumi ene osreye so yeduru akra no so kwasi twum say Saturday anopa no munye na mumpedin bi na you know so no let's use kokrantumi no say yes baby ya jina nam say baby e kwa bosom dem no na me nkokro no so da ba na say ye visit shrine bi ti kakra bi eduru no ye hu bosom dan ba akọ enam ka chen so omienguram na ya hwehwe ya ade kura wo dan no nti ewura mu no na no so asim konwa
etwen
na no asim konwa na why abotatwe da yeso ya di agro no ejina mu oho ti akonfo koma ene eni pe free wor na chen say yes dija jatato pa ni pa di free wor to mo ayeba so that's how Kokrantu with Citizen Show. I quite remember when Elijah Gongo Nime Kasai, putting a name to a show was a little bit difficult, but it was to me no Aquaria.
Yeah.
Na you know so e kwa bosum dem sa
and I was in Yama who
see asum na nanom
yeah
ada obeko
I said semiko and I said the rebeko
wodu hu be she urade nsa
enu rebeko
me busa wo en nese de boni abawi ase wodu hu be she urade nsa
7 we dey semi family wo she urade nsa
en wodu hu be she urade nsa very good watch it na mo hu ban so many Korea and I'm catching Korea say so we talk about citizens, but the citizens they don't have a show.
Yeah.
Any coin show names at the comma, but the citizens also needs to own a show.
Own a show.
So this show is the citizen show. We kind of Korea three and was yeah. And I'm drafting and I'm the sending Alaja Gungo. Then the boss knows yeah. Didn't come on, let's go. And ya pim so Eddie Abedra. So I know that definitely Yami Aduma mean free her one day, no. I wish to stay here and I want to retire here.
Yeah.
Oh, to be honest, I want to retire here. I want to retire with CMG. But I know that mean free I say no. Na meja another footprint.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kwame.
Thank you, Commander.
We are grateful.
Sure.
All right, so that's it live on Accra 100.5 Citizen Show. Mama menya eye me miliki kakra emra mesremo away bas. Thank you so much.
I mentioned earlier that I began my second non-consecutive term as president this past January. My first term ended in January 2017. In that span of time, 8 years, the world has changed with such ferocity. My first days in office after my return felt as though I had just awakened from a Rip Van Winkle style sleep. Now, no, that was only after 8 years. Imagine then what it will be like after 80 years since the founding of the United Nations. In 1945, the sun had not yet set on the largest empire in history. The most common mode of international travel was by sea. The personal computer had not been invented, let alone made portable. And television, a new convenience, was still in its infancy, albeit in black and white color. Relations between the US and the Soviet Union were turning frosty, with Winston Churchill declaring that an iron curtain has descended across the European continent. Fast track 80 years on. In today's world, hundreds of thousands of commercial flights take off and land every day. Libraries have been digitized so that volumes of literature can exist on a small device enough to fit inside your pocket. We live in a world of cryptocurrency, artificial intelligence, social media, the internet and its dark hidden dungeon of the dark web, all of which carry a potential threat to global peace and security. Climate change is real, and we're fighting a losing battle against the loss of Maldives and other island nations to the rising sea level, against the loss of Timbuktu to desertification and the Amazon forest to global warming and deforestation. Madam President, the UN Founding Charter is outdated when it comes to representation in this August Assembly. The most powerful post-World War II nations are still being rewarded with an almost totalitarian guardianship over the rest of the world. And yet, the first sentence in Chapter 2, Article 1 of the UN Charter declares that the organization is based on the principle of sovereign equality of all its members. If this were true, and was the case, a continent as large as Africa, with its numerous UN member states, would have at least one permanent seat on the Security Council. Furthermore, we believe that veto power should not be restricted to only 5 nations, nor should it be absolute. There must be a mechanism in this House for the General Assembly to challenge a veto. No single nation should be able to exercise an absolute veto to serve its own interests in a dispute. In 1995, during the 50th anniversary of the United Nations, Nelson Mandela stood in this very spot, and he said, "The United Nations has to reassess its role, redefine its profile, and reshape its structures. It should truly reflect the diversity of our universe and ensure equity among the nations in the exercise of power within the system of international relations in general and the Security Council in particular." I close quotations. 30 years later, we African leaders are still making the same simple request for a permanent seat on the Security Council with the power of a veto. So today, Madam President, I stand here in this exact spot and ask the world, if not now, then when? We demand not only a reform of the Security Council, but also a reset of the global financial architecture, which is currently rigged against Africa. Africa must have a greater say in the world's multilateral financial institutions. And while I'm making requests, I'd like to call for the removal of the blockade on Cuba. As Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, our nation's founder, famously said, "We seek to be friends with all and enemies to none." The Cuban people shed their blood on African soil in the fight against apartheid. And indeed, Cuba has been and continues to be a faithful friend of Africa. You see, the very fact that I can stand here and ask these things and say these things, and the fact that all nations can ostensibly gather here to address critical global issues, air our grievances, and express our concerns, that is what makes the survival of this organization so important. In every old city or village, you will find a town square, or a courtyard, or a plaza that once served as a gathering space for the citizens of the community and their leaders. Meetings and celebrations were held there, as were trials and elections. And these were spaces that brought people together and held them together as a community. Sadly, time and technology have eroded these spaces. Madam President, in many ways, the United Nations is the proverbial town square of our modern global village. And it has never been more critical for us to protect this one space that brings and holds the world nations together as a community. The internet, social media platforms, and artificial intelligence offer us the illusion of connectivity, when in fact what they do is reinforce isolation by using algorithms that ensure that we do not receive new ideas and perspectives, but rather more of the same content. We are served alternative facts and manipulated images, making it easy to disseminate disinformation and sow seeds of division amongst communities. Madam President, these are dangerous times. Our world is currently experiencing a rise in nationalism and economic instability. There's a general breakdown of multilateralism. Various acts of aggression have been committed against the sovereignty of others, and nations are attempting to circumvent the very safeguards that were put in place to prevent large-scale global conflict. These conditions are all too similar to the ones that led to the League of Nations' failure in fulfilling its mandate. The denial of visas to President Abbas and the Palestinian delegation sets a bad precedent and should be deeply worrying to all member nations of the United Nations. Ghana recognized the state of Palestine in 1988 and supported a two-state solution to the conflict since then. And I say, contrary to the claims of some, a two-state solution would not be a reward for Hamas. It would rather be a reprieve for the hundreds of thousands of innocent women and children and people who are facing collective punishment and forced starvation for no reason other than the fact that they are Palestinian. For nearly 2 years and for the fear of reprisals, we here in this General Assembly have been playing hide and seek with language to find the right words to help us avoid or excuse what we all know is taking place in Gaza. But here's the thing, it doesn't matter what you call it. If it looks like a duck, it swims like a duck, and quacks like a duck, well, then it must be a duck. The crimes in Gaza must stop. The crimes in Gaza must stop. Madam President, I also want to draw particular attention to the conflict in Sudan, which this body has described as the world's largest humanitarian crisis. 12 million people have had to flee their homes. And when we speak of migration, we refer to the 12 million new Sudanese refugees, whom we as a global community should be willing to assist in much the same way that many member nations readily assisted new refugees coming out of Ukraine. Let's dispense with the euphemisms and dog whistles and speak frankly. It is not a mystery that when leaders of Western nations complain of their migration problems, they are often referring to immigrants from the global south. But many of those immigrants are climate refugees. And interestingly, the global north emits 75% more greenhouse gases than the global south. However, the effects of climate change are more severe in the global south because we lack the resources to address them effectively. And so when the desert encroaches on our villages and towns and they become unlivable, we are forced to flee. Warsan Shire, a Somali-born prophet, a Somali-British poet born in Kenya to Somalian refugee parents, was London's first youth poet laureate. She writes in her poem titled Home. And it says, you have to understand that no one puts their children in a boat unless the water is safer than the land. No one bends their palms under trains beneath carriages. No one spends days and nights in the stomach of a truck feeding on newspaper unless the miles traveled mean something more than just a journey. Madam President, we cannot normalize cruelty. We cannot normalize hatred. We cannot normalize xenophobia and racism. If we're going to tell a story, let's not tell it slant. Let's tell all the truth. When we speak of migrants, we speak of Mami Ewusi Mensah Frimpong, a judge on the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. She's the first black female judge on any of California's 4 federal district courts. She was born here in America to immigrant parents from Ghana. We speak of Peter Bosman, a medical doctor in Ghana who moved to the town of Piran in Slovenia in the 1980s and later became the first black mayor of Piran, the first black mayor in Slovenia and in the whole of Eastern Europe. We speak of T. Michael, the iconic Ghanaian Norwegian artist and designer. And of course, we speak of the late Kofi Annan, former United Nations Secretary General. Former United Nations Secretary General and Nobel Peace Prize recipient, who was born in Ghana but spent his adulthood in various places in America and Europe. These are people who have brought great distinction to the countries that they decided to call home. Just as the migrants and the children of migrants before them did, I dare say these are not invaders. These are not criminals. Madam President, the slave trade must be recognized as the greatest crime against humanity. As the African champion on reparations, Ghana intends to introduce a motion in this August body to that effect. More than 12.5 million Africans were forcibly taken against their will and transported to create wealth for the powerful Western nations. We must demand reparations for the enslavement of our people and the colonization of our land that resulted in the theft of our natural resources,
Paite,
as well as
just 30 minutes na yamfanye adewe. So Paite, have a seat, quick one. Paite, you know I juma kakra, so citizenship and then the 7th year. What do you have to say?
In fact, the kind of you better tell them for Yankupasi. Pempensoa odien abedu na mada commander wanka sanso ase na afi so abrantie kweku sampa in fact opportunity no buy say me besua ade e wo citizen show so no otiase e ma menya that opportunity, and I must say me join citizen show production no masua enema bebre pressure ne die.
Jebete.
Me kai me second time ana kwa me ni ho. Na ka me nko.
Ada number so be to twede kura na me pra kura me pra.
Cause in fact my dear ba kwa ma no say commander production ama masua de bebre.
You need to.
As I say and na kwa me cause commander show the utinye adwuma wontimi nye. No kre.
Just utinye adwuma.
So I just thank God say on say wa space where you feel comfortable so I had them okay, but once you give yourself the opportunity to challenge yourself, no one say what's the idea so but once I'll be open up say you want to encounter more challenges, you know, the more you become very experienced in team. With that say opportunity so
Juma.
Yeah.
And there be no Juma you learn more.
Sure.
Yes, if you become a biaba.
Yeah.
So who can crank a cra?
Commander.
Oh, dear cra.
Send me your channel. Why me tell me few.
Yes, Mukwaba Mukwaya. Okay. Obi become biaba. So, sana etie. Yes, you das. Say unya show mujidi na obe join the citizen show ni the so no nkran no na mo amfra Eugene ba manama show double
you're
show double.
Na commander menda kwa mkwati asipa.
Good.
In fact easy.
So on go to me pressure no te so ba gibi.
Oh, pressure dey say you are normal.
So
I normal. Na make first day na kwa me friend say paite eduma bi edinya ko hye bibi ntinu. Di kan wo studio. Commander me gina esi asere me team fifiri.
Allah. I don't know come come to twede. Me de fa na paite dia fa me de fa na me say paite. Ube wani say me no gu carpet so da.
Na me run commander man is so say relax.
After the me hu say ade no. Paite yes sir. No me say baby a paite dru so me man kan je so onto no bo a. Me tia no amina hwe.
But I just thank God say it's a very
from the camera nice
experience. Wow.
Media to me Facebook. Manager boko there.
Wow.
Good. And then I'm here say oh, Mumrai.
Citizen show at 7. Namia you be.
No, you should join us, manager. Come on. Mon join us. Yeah. Any Frank enjoying here?
Apostle.
Oh, Bray. Apostle Trace. Apostle, and then you 7 years.
Commander Utinkwa.
Apostle, not what do you say?
10 years, na best year, Jumano.
Hey, Dabi Onya meka wo show no.
Oh, 10 years.
10 years. 10. And then want to move for me.
But Commander Nyankopon Shiraw. Wabrim.
Oh,
Wabrim. Enye bete. Akonya na oteso no. Ewie na meka se eno so na metna Kenya mia se but ebo tu kona na to me bi otena so to me bi be wura mu a me kura ebo tu na me da so ti akonya no so a e ana eni ama ya ye
so person can say so for you
so nya me to me e wura mu so I say anti why are there up and down ekukuhwi ase Commander Utinkwa ye bo awrade mpa say awrade na bi kura mu na wadina on na so
na no to join na
Commander.
And then guess on that now.
I'm footing.
Yeah, this 7 years old.
A bit of Vieci. And to the more. Now you see and
manager, do you ever come here?
I'm on Yatnaso. Now, citizen show dear. Men can't well class media group. But any political signature show. Or my minji niseba ho in terms of show we are holding obetim na agina brand men kan to ye ho because show we ye show ye can send ye devoid of fear, devoid of favor. Sebi ye me yetimi kire baby aye to ya bako no nipa ko ni wini wi a wanyere yasen atwabon. How many journalists have that kind of flair?
So me catch you say be tuma say be ye ni yi man kasa be say no
na me kai
to say ready a
dabi
obi abeka dwira kire
ba na ya busua adwapade na be say na wura no say no aka betoi
dabi
it yes so hwe so yi na so de je nchirima
dabi
na emumbu enyina kwakohwe anamampa o hyase na imu bi nso etietia sa anamonu na minim say a shape the political focus of our country.
Sure
ama emabru na eba sesia no bibiri na hunu say etoda ye kasa boana ye kasa nenye pempi no etwa sa ubabonten na wo ka no kure no se ne tie ene betimi aboa na asese oman no anuonyam enkoma ekoso na nyina mitie but baby a me hunu say ebia ese ye ka because we citizen show we any other show ana citizen show no e won the line it is so be better so be ntia the crowd and the catcher no mind no enkoyi at a point na otie chiri na wo hwe se ne o man ne kwa na so yen century ni na so mpanyimfo neutrality o makache no betia o man ne bebo we defy the odds of even station authorities stood on our grounds respectfully
but send this if we are bit said every for we are hwe be hwe mo no
that be said the citizen show you different citizen show citizen show and this for dia citizen show no kreka for dia o man for ne dia citizen show dwumadie bi a ye de asi wonum say won wa eni akama for no ye fa dwumadie so na yakama ba me ka kwakọ wie say wo hwe a certain direction na man na ekọ true citizen show getimi o man ni si honum a me hunu say scorecard a ye kan nyina me ye renfis a scorecard na enya hweso de nso ma aban bi oteso in this case NDC say senia anadwe here no say na fofo baba it is so
yeah ma one wo ma me bia enkogu fu
na Ghana work and pay Emma John Dramani Mahama ana yenye Ghana will Emma any other political party it will be bia wo pese wo ye ni niam no wo ye ni such a way say any on the bit of Ghana. Congratulations.
Thank you. Vana your marketing department and head of your marketing department a friend is power there be power no munim no mona mo kwa bonten mona mo kwa bonten so Vanessa tell us 7 years for the citizen show
7 years I congratulations.
Amen.
Congratulations. Amen. I think sir why a good job Bobby menewde for my sempa ache
Vanessa me no bo match o
ye chimbia fine and all I can say is congratulations. You've done a good job.
Thank you. Mr. Frank, I am say obeli diena penifo wa na ya twa cake ni na afedi akoye show we dey ye ne tew nti abna mama boy kwa mo oh kwa kokoboa
osofo be se na no beduma
mimi de mo ha Samina yesa me jeje
Kwabena o mo so fa say na no
enti
no mami join
hey Commander to mo fa de na to mo so ba
Commander we that picture you need to reply
no me wa say on be fa pacho fa ni na to so akwai muntu mbuo pacho be mu yenda fa kofom no mo ani mra enti ko wachi
e cha cake yi
oh I did
ye cha cake yi mu ama ɛne ne nkɔsoɔ ɛne temamufoɔ yɛdie ɛne ne nkɔsoɔ ɛwɔ nyame agya ɔba ɛne sunsun kronkron din mu amen.
Thank you. Pacho, champagne munya na afi de we no omo fan ko twani. Mr. Frank, thank you so much. Vanessa, Pacho, to anoga kana Mr. Frank and Kevin hwe na afi de emfa emfa dia kano entraso. Mr. Frank, listen to so chiao.
Mate, me jeno so pa.
You need to say chiao.
Kashen se nche.
Me catch us also afe no. Me catch no. Okay, all right. So, hey, I chim for a champion sutu. Thank you. All right, Yamunya has Yamisha. Kwabena Pacho, mbetini ni Mr. Frank Mbia kona. Mwako che. Me dibia sembeba. Me dibia nyeyi. Me dibia nyeyi. All right, thank you. Live on Accra 100.5 Citizen Show. Mpamcho me kwaba me ba. Ye baba be share juma say na we na no to e ha say, and we have a lot to talk about today. Nana Commander, minim say what pick is issue here. Your friend is say Pacho, we need free of mommy feedback. Yeah, you free. Okay, so we need to say Japa, Mr. Richard Japa, or the Odame, Godfrey Odame, former Attorney General, or the no call CID. So I'm investigating on. And I think I've seen a counter petition. Says CID investigated Japa and your friend is a Unicolindi and so. I don't know whether you have any idea.
I wish you could give us small background.
So the issue about Mr. Richard Japa, a petition on two issues. Okay. That the then Attorney General no say onintro.
Okay.
Emfanfa atoforce ho no munya kwai enjeli no.
That's right.
And two what the akukutrisem any emimunsem any di Attorney General no. These are the two issues. Lex so wait me about say I think the mommy feedback dodo. Na omujina so or the the counter petition no petition anonso no ononso na dia no de koye ne say CID investigate Yoni Kolindi and a friend is saying Mr. Richard Japa because omomi enu so kunaive to blackmail the Attorney General. So these are the issues. I don't know whether you have any idea.
Commander, you see some issues be her. And then he said, well, me briefly. Yes, I'm not into the issues, but you don't need even to have proper understanding of the matter. You say, Abuano, I am who be nature. Near the idea dance here. Na minim say be and come to train your quay anymore. Your back could do baby or to the alcohol by a hint. And every own in some kind fa NDC. When a namon utu. In fact, me can this year, Nama Brown. Then can say the government machinery. Because in so ye, Eda NDC, say Amanyuku, any Abainwa, Irulia, Ura John Dramani Mahama, Edano. Which has to do with Sodia, Itrasanka or Sode. Na Akronfubi, a Mimfubi, Pesaminkumya Fubi, a Tutra Fubi, a Butifubi Kawananutum. Nanso, Womsomdium trademark ye father for all. Inti Ibimu Enya to me. And one of the cases Elinke to Nyawaka Wasame. People like Dami, and yes, Timinya, that kind of authority. After saying, you know, you capture no on a tape, our commander would see me TV. Producers are wearing TV. In fact, one when ne Accra 100.5 FM Yejuma Citizen Show in particular, ebe whom say there was a tape not then Attorney General Eda da Ura Japa openly say Uncle Chan Trosa Wayade near to court asem asheda and I say Abua Okwebiso. This is enough grounds to prosecute Dame. But because people like Damemo, people like Abronyamo, people like the national organizer of MPP, Mustafa Salamo Tumu, those guys, Omake Kendis for Enu. Oma who say Sikumupa, but say NDC, Abain Esimbekano Edding. And that is why we wait to any authority to do counter. What kind of moral authority? And I was say, Sankwa counter of Adia Yen Nimsa Waye.
Obi na acquire counter petition, but obviously,
I know not actually. Now they are. I commander. That's
you are right. You are right. You are right.
Well, you might be Mukreja. Me no, I make Bamkai. One can ye kura. And you are woman that. When you know when actually, you are right. Counter for them. What counter them? Only Pakuno here no planning. The bottom line is this: near a year ura Japa Ekano. Me as long as say metimi ehunu bie na metimi atibi no enye say bia me chamason aduasem na makase me no ana eko but no kura kwan so say there is evidence enough to prove say ne Japa eka na no kura ena wenya asem a ye kato damiso we asem a Ghana fo nyina ehunu bie enough grounds so me want to say that kind of counter petition or counter whatever no media ubi samia mihunu so hye obi achi ma oye no nkosi aga NDC from Nancy from commander ye ken sem we nyina na se atwa kwakohwe baby no na nkamia ko esa ase ensem de topono so a ne wawa na basa ne sere emum enam na nkasa ne bi agya ho my okay, let me be careful, but this government, I'm sorry, ye adwuma papa but o man hwe ya enema baako mienu bi ebe cleaning adwuma no mienu nyina.
Yeah.
In terms of CD appreciation against the dollar, yes, call me. In terms of say abembia back in a space of just 5 months, yet me at petroso, yes, call me. In terms of say
drew single digit.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, inflation is now 9% or
meanwhile, inflation about 23.5%. In fact, in 2022, 54%.
For the first time.
For the first time in the history of our country. Okay, is it 2009, 2010? And inflation hit a single digit inflation under Professor Mills.
Yes.
It is a benefit about power. Now in a space of 9 months, Sabine Timasian hit a single digit inflation. It's obvious that Abine ye baby. But you see, Abine went here as say, and a track record make us say, Yama criminals are emboldened to challenge what is even against them.
Yeah.
People like that want me criminals because we are Attorney General.
Yes, I'm here who only did a demonstration.
Unum says Samia Oku Assembly by na mentia say eti na Kwame challenging me on Samia Oku's matter. I was like, Kwame, me shut down tears. Then until the fourth estate
report no.
That be what they will be back.
Oh, okay.
But the fourth estate for me back over. Eti fourth estate guy no. When I pushed him, when he explained, and I got to understand, say, sir, indeed, sir, 4 pillars no. Samia Oku ejina so ekase. Omo ebua corporate social responsibilities in area of agudi, which is sports, in area of art, which is abia enyum tuo anase sinika, in area of health, apomedinsem, any ehumesuyano. Some pillars it was created away from the very actor establishes goodwill na yabua in terms of corporate social responsibilities. It's a question yamra. Na emra ne say yemfa sikai emwa ebia otu da akone Kwame Kwache esan say sabi mpanyifo anim entesa ba won na ehiafo afei na Kwabena Bobie Ansah akotena ba bi say we see you on the board I decided say e wom say emra ne say yemfa sika ne moa otu da akone Kwame Kwache na emomu ye wo paate eni yima bi wo hono a omunya hiafo
paate a wanya ne ho
but because say adekodi a wo koye no in line with the position of the board, which is inclined to the 4 areas in first scanning one. And this is clear misapplication of funds. And over reading auditor general reporter because of misapplication of funds. It's here go bratum. CSC first kako to kusuana koto banche. Yes, we use kano, but and that is the case of Samioku. How can you give African Prosperity Network Gabi Otre Dako that sum of money? How? What be our bonny bread we are? What ain't it? As some name tells you. Oh, Bishasi Akasa o Jimmy. One to say, come the day a cracky bahanamwa. What be explain them? Asano damn not say. No, it doesn't make sense. One man, look, yeah, Independence Day celebration. You will see car or minica. Beyond this, what's near you see 350,000 cities. I'm the then chief of staff, Mami Fremo Pari, say on famwa a year celebrations. How? I hear Pesica at one that. So this is pure criminality.
But only more problem with the Samioku I know. More sure says he cannot call more.
Say Equasamiho.
Says Canoa or Castle Disbezi and call those institutions now all Cano.
As I come home, man, Kaison Babonti. Basically, Gabi Mabontin say a man ho. Basically, Fremo Pari Akaranwatu. And for our boom being now be Akaranwatu. But because
I've heard a conversation somewhere within the MPP hierarchies now omo mbubo modino emu a complain ama MPP mpenimfo say omo receive
we complain ben yeah the ato so say your mouse can now nje nya bonte na oba uko complain
no so unim party structures dey make actually and say MPP
but MPP structures room commander say na okay MPP and buga structure you are talking about structures in current MPP ana anya this assembly account
ebu atofom
dabi eda form flats eda form cry say full any second eda form what the age maybe
full any second
so the age maybe not that form why you the answer you are confused when you NDC any National Democratic Congress assembly account you can new patriotic party assembly let me tell one of the tapes Abuachi Ajako and he says I'm not here there is fine because some no can you answer no and now okasa about the structures of MPP
MPP Nyansafo no Akomia
yes Nana Akomia
Boachi Ajako
yes
Adenimo Dambotwe
so jai also movement for
so abre na mamefa Jombo Dunka ho
Jombo de former secretary JB onu we unity no ama na yi no ho ayi kakra Boachi Ajako unity for chairmanship no
so no so be ko chairmanship
ama JB
na make no well but we omukasa as nyansa kakra
ewum o ba secretary ni kra as o mudi kakra MPP secretary ni kakra or could be also why just say manipulating
could be some deny a dormant normal say akasa
manipulating no but so
manipulation
say not
mu ankasa any the whole Ghana general secretary
no
say NDC or say MPP could be any general secretary say party form faninya fees na general secretary ka say yankwa blekuma na party supporters say
yankwa
blekuma amparo omoko
anko se hwe nso yansanhwe obi a enti na we can structures now here nwanwa no but don't confuse yourself NDC assembly
waka say Jimmy Musu makaka nkwase asem
the one kind na ede
era Patrick Boama obi abo Patrick Boama
no Patrick Boama
best
who follow ministers no your former head is appointment committee
I think
the appointment committee me kakonya metiso yi one of the few MPC decent nyansa
Patrick Boama de
minim guy na me share ne das no kanyansa sem
so omo de MPP for the party ni ma Patrick Boama
no so peden
Boachi Ajako Akomia numa
MPP never see aba
NDC for benya problem
MPP never see aba
so omo jai party ni ma sa ankrofo we numa na omo transition omo strategize NDC benya problem
but then but for much of a problem NDC benya problem yes but then too much of a problem.
Oh yes, ain't too much. But then again, Bema NDC are waking up.
I wake because I'm some that.
We are rough kit some from the
yes,
but it's obvious as Abia Okusi Obefan already.
Now is the commander.
It's obvious.
Meaning say I think Sir President Mahama you are down for. No, okay, need you so say can or your papa. Need you
papa.
Me pa cho.
Enya say bia o man ni papa. Unu say Rajo Mahama.
Yes.
In fact, ono Kobi Fiagbe.
Kobi.
Any
Senior yes.
Omuna de ba
uncle Bevu wife.
Omuna de ba NDC. Omuna de ba NDC.
Now MPP ni.
Now Asante Mamponi we are here for me.
Okay. Say the Jira Muentin.
Asante Mamponi they friend by default.
I say they are chimfonti.
Wo when it no.
They do him.
The first kasa betini MPP kasa.
Frame catch him say. What is me person me ko join the microphone. Me ko hear him. Me ko hear him ba na so from Akwaba. Oso hu dem si me an so hu so a fine boy am so fine. Until you find boys in you could join the party way. And I'm offer I just me could join the party be a neighbor mu see a position no e moa o man no it means say party or so tell say bi mpanifo anymore sabi you answer phone to any NDC but today commander no say there you and I catch for NDC hold on unim bibi answer say MPP Jimmy ya che na ne ehun wo mu di Jimmy ni free Gokus UGCC one wo mu de te wo mu kupi na Jimmy ni jira but you see wo mu Jimmy ni ya ehun ntem okay
ye generation ni so regira say ye mpem kwase asem sa Jimmy no amu Jimmy no a ye hwe mu din no na omai so exposed anya say no mu ni nyansa o ma me ka asem okay it's never true say MPP before school change NDC currently. Currently, you are talking about go back. Master, when you are those days, you are talking about PV Obenum. You are talking about Kwesibochenum. You are talking about your friend is Kwampe Pranum, Victor Salomenum,
Salomemo.
And then I say, Bobo MPP Sata, they don't tell
but
I Chikata, the late Chikata.
Not even current Chikata.
Massa.
Current
MPP for some time.
I think it's and me patrol with team here. This is devoid of tribalism, but I think say the mechanism in MPP a projecting MPP. I can find wedding. No, it's me who say it's
my main policy the
policy mommy.
I say Asante phone in Brandon.
Yes, Brandon.
Asante phone in Brandon. Omunim say they see brandy ade. Enti so omo de ba ko
enya kura mo be brand aboato
me dohor on betimi a brand na ma wa hu
that's right
NDC for nye keen even na say kura na standogbe adaroma o events said wo mo si
restructure
organize events standogbe the new style be aba NDC which is good but human say the branding pagigi ni paso on say I before is for sorry Evers not I before
Evers
I no
a certain tribe Evers
Evers no I no there is a history behind it so me worry ever so they told me I know until my sorry
okay
the Evers the Northness Gadangbe the gas also some components when and a dozen NDC naturally omu ye nipa they don't know how to brag ube siese no was kapa why we are Ekroma mimi ni mobia owo sika che Kwame despite no ya o yesem ni I'm not even talking about Ibrahim Mahama mimi ni mobia Ekroma owo sika I mean pa che Kwame despite
no ni pekra
but the point is ya ni ya chero branding because of the business aspect yana nanum epi business into your ye de sa niema no ehyew nti udru kajetia udi agora obi betumi atonsu ama say book
odebebu
o me so beto
na yanyom na yesamba cycle na yesande abu
what finance am na there be what voice na say your friend say semina na ton no say phone so yi so start free kuma say
asaba na me try say some here na yesamba say yesamba ba commander yem wa baso wa on say o kan nyina utwa kohwe say emaburu na abasisi ne nimnyansa it did not happen like magic.
No,
it happened because consistently certain wisdom was forged into the minds of these people. Yeah, citizen show now who is on. Oh dear, for when you call 7 years back, Ghanaians were timid. I'm not saying say we have never had the likes of Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings.
Yeah,
Afibia no Musa, ready to me ni pakesi BP almost every time. But cast your mind back 7 years coming, where a kind of generation, whether on social media, whether on radio, whether on TV, etimi sorry branikase masa untimi mfa said with no disrespect to penny for openi me huname nyansa nyansa.
Yeah,
and it's because people like you started talking when men were silent. People like you got out. To me. Now, let me say this. My former station, for instance, Vision 1 FM. Oh, now me come again. Citizens want to say me. Kwame Bobie Ansah country. What am I saying? Oh, this is Kwame Ansah. Oh, now me come again. But you see, citizens show a kind of flair. Citizens show a kind of direction. Now, citizens show one course direction. And me fans and follow citizenship. The team to be some come into the host. Citizen show a team for one more broke us as a whole. Make Cassidy Nipaya Diosai. But we can't put this because what's setting a certain tone for a certain generation to pick up. And Ama and Mabrudu one will say no. Tie a particular rhythm a bebwine am yejina brand. And that has caused all those changes that you see. And nunti na you finish working on this dummy and all those counter petition. It trap koshi NDC. I make say NDC for akomanwa tumbibre. And nunti omo de se mo say de bia mo press briefing. Ye kokan no mo buafu. E twa say ye kan no krekere NDC aban mo bufu to do the right thing than say bekan anwa tum na NDC for opposition. These people have been emboldened because NDC from Pennyfo Bebre have been silent on thieves, on criminals in this country.
When him say, and I don't know be dim come on raise asema wo Kenya. And I'm so almost say a process in
process by
we must be process by we must be or say though they voted democratically for a democratic leadership.
Yes.
But not Ghana for any ready say your mama should behave democratically.
Tabi.
Na Ghana fire ready say even if he will not try MPP for no Guma.
Yes.
Obia kuma betoni because they know no.
Fantastic.
It is so visible.
Fantastic.
Everybody sees it.
Fantastic.
I mean it is so glaring that
Obianim.
And Koko to say it may kwapa dance.
Obianim.
Ghana for here dancing. Obi second of Furiata say. Ya fari nyina
ko. Na be dance enti nya de dey.
Idabio, what do you call the kind of rate could not quote I day? I day, and guess I die a winnie no can I do no year no. Not straight kind of rata in the and only say, anybody catch him say, and Kagana for M4 to John Mahama da.
Commander, Mamikasim,
because they were looking for a self fine, some say military rule. Yen Yankee and free home. So yen to me, Uncle Frasoja for so major mine. Ya de bema by the mawa ya ni military star
commander one ma dwene aye ba ko na minim se na nanoma honhom na ekasa wie unni dia
ka kire me
asema na me pese me ka no e bi na wetin minim se na obo oti wanwumi ya fefe na nanomo ye adwuma because me can be bia say me can be chie me hu da say se nye John Mahama ana na Ghana fo sojafo adwen a nom de mani atoa and can be a military takeover in this country. I'm telling you.
You support.
There would have been a military takeover.
Because we Samuel Kusu should not be walking around.
People think that we are talking too much. Okay? Commander, another you're saying, is it facts? I know John Mahama will not fail. But I am telling my country, if this government of NDC fails, Ghanaians will lose outright interest in democracy.
Because now with Ghanaians, no MPP in your option.
And yes, I'm from NDC because they say I told my money, I'm Muslim to me, and to what next?
Say you do some point in the dia or two. You say in India.
I said the 9 months in you.
Yeah, no make it's so early.
Commander Jaisa.
No, the reason why they can say almost say
commander
maybe almost say a processes.
Oh,
almost say a process, right?
I say,
let's assume say yes, the almost cannot sanity, but you see, ebufu ewiabo we dem pay for her process maybe mon fanche me ebufu etise etam
o say
me say ebufu etise etam
baby mic ni ha no mic ni
e ya me fa de so na ebubo free wo yam na pi me say me ka sem we enawie after December, after next year by June say John Mahama hwe ya oso man no enyi
commander
by next year June, because what we are seeing no is unfortunate to say eya no mo say omonkola no so hunu bi but the hunu you know any de konto kwaji to me ma wo because the things we will see in the night,
you don't see it
by June
ababi transformant
na say John Mahama no man hwe ya oso man no say be Jeffrey
commander June wa.
Oh, you see, we are talking to people.
No, but you see, I like your sense of responsibility.
Yes.
As a senior journalist.
Yes.
Yes.
But
you must push them. Well, commander, obient me can June. Will be anyone will be too much. Commander, if the case is in the door, you case me aside. You do yourself another case. Why do you take plethora of cases?
They say
na attorney general about list cases bebre young prosecute odia 82 cases who deal with who deal here now for what fact can for what deal no that day
otu yet krom ha na jasi question
ayen
ye do baby o mka chance every day
no court ye krom ba
every day
say no ko
na me say that John Mahama no mbeka say on be so mu di 3 cases ti Ghana for no aduane mra judges no yeah you go to mo ani tunkusa
me dem salaries na beche
me dia yabomu e dia akọ na judges mu de mu ni di na mo nyankrofo we hu adwuma maye.
But I think say me wrap up I think say ye mpanyimfo no bebre ho no mo a sebi ensem no kan no aya na wo kan akwese bezipani ko ni haban yatase ne banyansefo but you see aban we ye kase ye bose ye ka ho ne ye aban ne bai ye nhwe ma aban we nko position because of adwuma pa aban we ahyase eti ye ka no kra krom ne enti ye to abama mahama nyeso mama ye aduane ni oman mu ba den omo ntia kronfo ba ko mienu bi ntum keke ne mfa Ghana show no sa forever.
Thank you. Live at 100.5. So I was just waiting for my studio guest, Honorable Mensa Thompson and Honorable Safoji. After na watna semema na assettle kakra. Make I will say a visiting associate studio guest, Miami National Chairman PNC, Mr. Awingobit, a friend, a brother, Asake Awingobit, a friend and a brother. But we have a special one-on-one with Honorable Kwabena Safoji. Yes. Then we will have Mensa Thompson too in town. Oh, unim adeswa so no say ebi so anka ko mu abu.
Ma, musaka onyo manana.
Anio, sisia na rider na de buy. Sending the momo.
Yo,
Paco. Any smartphone na we use. For momo app ni tuane.
Adian app.
Hey, enye una wo so ye millennium o se millennia. Na wo ni momo app no. Oh, millennium fo ya anya de kra. For app ni di juma. Na se wo di juma e kontem na ho bambo so wo mu.
Beka enkofuku a wodi bomo app ni di djuma biara ne ho. Tia wudwa di ni a ope na sem no ka. Tia.
Thank you, Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. At this 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly, I'd like to speak about Africa's role in the future of this organization. However, it's impossible to do that without first considering the collective role that Africa played in its founding, which was small and relatively insignificant. Of the 51 member states involved in the founding of the United Nations in 1945, only 4 were African: Egypt, Ethiopia, Liberia, and South Africa. It is important to point out that the United Nations came into being in the aftermath of World War II because of the inability of its predecessor, the League of Nations, to avert a large-scale global conflict, which had been its guiding purpose when it was founded in 1920 at the end of the First World War. Out of the 42 founding member states of the League of Nations, only 3 were African: Liberia, the Union of South Africa, and Ethiopia. Egypt was to join later in 1937. Africa's overall participation in the organization's founding was minimal and relatively unimportant. That's because before all the other talks and meetings, representatives from a group of 14 nations gathered in Berlin for a series of discussions that began in 1884 and which led to the partitioning and formal colonization of the African continent, which is also called the Scramble for Africa. It has famously been written that past is prologue. Well, in the past, the majority of the 54 nations that now comprise Africa were never offered a seat at the table where plans for a new world order were being drawn. But, Madam President, as fate would have it, the tables are turning, and Africa's role in the authorship of whatever is yet to come for this world is going to be huge, and it will be consequential. According to this organization's own projections, by the year 2050, more than 25% of the world's population is expected to come from the African continent. Additionally, by 2050, 1/3 of all young people aged between 15 to 24 will be residing on the African continent. So you see, the future of this world is African. Allow me to say this once again a little louder for those of you in the back. The future is African. Already today, Africa is a catalyst for human potential and development, as well as for economic reform and ecological stability. Africa is a catalyst for systemic change. If this reality, which is fact-based and straightforward, seems provocative or unsettling, perhaps it's because you are viewing it through the lens of centuries of filters, colonialism and imperialism, and the resulting implicit bias. Maybe you are unaware of the resilience of African nations or their remarkable ability to make a strong comeback just when you think it's safe to count them out. That is what is happening right now in my own country, Ghana. Our constitution limits leaders to 2 4-year terms. In January, I was sworn in for a second term, which, let me point out, was non-consecutive with my first term. Our currency, the Ghana cedi, was rapidly depreciating, faced with rising inflation, a huge debt burden, and low morale amongst our citizens. My new administration settled down quickly and embarked on an ambitious program of comprehensive transformation designed to restructure Ghana's economic foundation and enhance our competitive standing globally. We refer to this process of recalibration as our reset agenda. In just 8 months, we have achieved significant reduction in inflation from 23.8% in December 2024 to 11.5% in August 2025, restoring price stability for our citizens. Additionally, our currency, the Ghana cedi, has appreciated considerably against other currencies, with Bloomberg reporting it as the best performing currency in the world at one point. Our improved sovereign credit rating reflects increasing investor confidence in our economy. And our 24-hour economy initiative promises to transform our economy. And there's a renewed willingness amongst our people to trust that their elected officials have Ghana's interests at heart and that we're progressing together. Madam President, I believe that in honor of this milestone celebration, the United Nations should also embark on a process of serious recalibration and establish its own reset agenda. Since the organization's founding, the number of UN member nations has nearly quadrupled. And quite frankly, it is not the same world that it was back then when the UN was formed. I mentioned earlier that I began my second non-consecutive term as president this past January. My first term ended in January 2017. In that span of time, 8 years, the world has changed with such ferocity. My first days in office after my return felt as though I had just awakened from a Rip Van Winkle-style sleep. Now, no, that was only after 8 years. Imagine then what it will be like after 80 years since the founding of the United Nations. In 1945, the sun had not yet set on the largest empire in history. The most common mode of international travel was by sea. The personal computer had not been invented, let alone made portable. And television, a new convenience, was still in its infancy, albeit in black and white color. Relations between the US and the Soviet Union were turning frosty, with Winston Churchill declaring that an iron curtain has descended across the European continent. Fast track 80 years on, in today's world, hundreds of thousands of commercial flights take off and land every day. Libraries have been digitized so that volumes of literature can exist on a small device, small enough to fit inside your pocket.
Prekope ene obi busama se mi se na ede na mamponfon kwa mi ensa de be adwuma because the person nipa no busama no Mensa Thompson from Asantuma Mponsuta na Bagu so ya we se Mensa Thompson in Suta
first time I meet ni
Mponsuta
yes we is a for league.
I'm telling you na unim mesuma nyina maso na nipa no okumase na me post no Facebook no and we send me back say adey mummy inside one show adey and I'm say no na say mamponfongo na mo na me see madwene amaso be ni da ba kwa so ni mo
be the first time I'm meeting
mamponsuta
okay
anti mamponfongo na ano so me kai was say na me ne honorable Alex Kweku Asafoji registrar for Ghana Scholarship Secretariat honorable Akwaba
mejo so Kwabena
boko de
o nyame adawo
me hu adi na
no kre on say the last time I'm bahana we discuss about some few challenges ne Ghana for being students are no more person more get demonstration or the various home offices were bruchi ni na yese na ye deka omo wa ho chiri no kre but me catch us at time na eguso ye audit ni validation ye afi na we just one aspect of it on ade bia me copy so I friend short courses na short courses no enum eno no ho nsem kra no Kwabena bubruja ansana me no ka say be the main regular non-bilateral scholarship no so yeguso ye Memphis ye ades nti discoveries kakraba na hu be hia say ba bia chekire esuma fidie hwan ba bia chekire abo na hwan esane so say me san ba fie na me be ma atifo eni ahwefo hu dia kwakosi any the ntia scholarship secretariat over the years maybe mo cry call for say scrap it because no mo feel say it has outlived its usefulness na mo ma ya dwen papa so na osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah edit na nipa bonifo bi sometimes ya na bi mo cry ka so yemfa bill bi mra yemfa mra bi mra Ghana Law School ti we say mra bi mark no but unya nipa papa na de ne to ano as director nko ana so ye nipa papa no pe so ya de papa obe ya de papa ye constitution 1992 e wo ye ma security of tenure for omo the position be to say EC commissioners and Supreme Court judges ba ukonya nipa oye nipa boni ni te say Akufo Addo a kwan e obefa so obetinchim mra no kra obetinchim asan what you say. So me feel say a normal pie no boils down to nipa no a ye de dibre ye den e hyenensa ene ni su ene de opeso ye de ma my Ghana. That is how I see that.
Sembranta
so wani brabro na no tu opeso ye bibi ma o man ha omo ye no ma kese ho man na ye mra na hye wo mo enya mra. It's just that sense of patriotism.
Yeah.
Say me ni ba bia se me man o man Ghana. Ena ye di dibia we na hye me santi kakra metimi aye de ama o man Ghana o chena bi ni ho a ye bebo me din akai we. It's a principle very simple. Meaning that Kwabena simple way na Argentina yet utu kwan na kwa America. Obi asinifi no the American flag na sey ni.
So emre bi anchechire
ba o kire o say odo ne man boni be ka to God bless America. The obe ka bi amasa o America ni a odo America. And asa say what ma say ba Ghana hayetia your sense of patriotism na nkasa abafom. Tu be share taxi driver no ono the American flag na si taxi ni opa ni bi phone lines tum sisi say yen sample opinion say person ke ton Ghana ni chase can
obedi jaja okay me am evaluation no
and that is how sad yaba bedru me feel say yen na o say etimi inspire hope anything na me no ya adwen say Ghana for empeku ditabio nti yese president mama emesom mayen na ensesan ya hwehwe free resantene no onfanye den onfamra maybe dem wo gidie pa say obeye just a matter of time chede but kakra bia me hu no last week and this week
I see
any crofobia ma so asoso omumu no kire say we are on course na obia so obeye akwansi obeba beye blockade ama president minim so say obeyi na free ho.
Are you sure?
Oh, what a Kwabena na so ni papa ne chene. O bisa me are you sure no? Shata all friend smiling mafia. Who ni me chene?
E bia no asesa.
On say sign. Me hu ade bi when we lost 2016 elections that time yes we beg getting close kakra in 2018-2019. And there was a conversation. Pejaniti hesro. We see it as no usuniti wan kan hwe. Made from that day I knew that Joma man for no and you no abu. Trust me. Me de kakra we kra me no. If I tell you because civil servants are involved, na me ka bi chere hunto. I don't want to put their names out there. But me hono me arrest here cry I bear 7. Unto the otaba ho nim.
Wow.
And I'm working closely with the NIB. The last time an MP was even put on a stop list for Kutukai,
really?
Oh,
anyway, so the conversation today is so simple. We are talking to the registrar from Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. Then we have the deputy CEO for Exchange Commission. So you'll be dealing with the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat. Mami Musa, State Bay Nana Secretariat Office no ewo ya okotoso.
Me ba ete se de mri bia me ba fi me be kan no me be toka. Na question ba ko me busa ni se minim se afi bia ye ma agency bia budget. Of course, unya obi bia na be adequate budget a won sa be kan bia na be adequate, but some form of monies are given. Inti ede na eka kese sa timi ebe da ho. So me hwe books no bi wa afi bi wa 300 million, afi bi 2 something. When you
can Ghana cities.
Okay. Of course, scholarship secretariat situation is peculiar because of foreign exchange fluctuations. On say yama me cedi 7 franco to your fees, but I'm paying it in foreign currency, be a euro, be a dollar, be a pound. It is a saka krabia meaning say manya deficit. And no one of the factors. But then me discover na me ko pay books bi so na mu say oma run a program be with Crown Agents UK eno no ye short courses it 2 weeks na ye do connect ye do aba short courses in principle me ntina me ka say ye bad me say na mitimi din kita ho bi o ba bi na me feel say manya short course bi a ebetimi aboa ma yetimi aye on hands skill development bi ebe boa ma buna why not but okofa short courses be to say developing future leaders
course no
ba kudi na mabo achiro no developing future leaders building effective teams enti say minim say na say obi ba fie ha na ya spend the minimum expenditure on one person was £2,000 for tuition, 1,200 as stipend and a return air ticket.
£2,000
for tuition, £1,200 as stipend and a return air ticket.
Hey.
Now wakwa ye adia your friend o de converting o de fan £3,500 now convert. Now wakwa ye 2 weeks program aba oba ya de nikita na say developing future leaders inti say oba class media say oba pa adwuma minim so be develop say do agungu so be develop Kwabena Bobie Ansah say kwam kwachi no be minim
anti ya wasan microphone bi na nkromo developing future leaders
developing future leaders aba
no certificate
na me developing future leaders and why they eco CV
hey
then amu sa wo ba ku bi say building effective teams in the say bia of security and exchanges commissioner so obe pa adwuma we CV ni there na ade ba ya obe developing minia Mensa Thompson ti afi no be building effective teams or sec it just doesn't make sense na Kwabena ade amesa discover and say omo anya no nko akeke utum se na ite se sika bi da baabi yemfa kwan bi so scheme na sika ni medi nipa bi botum so o share example we are ya manipa ba ko scholarship na ya san fa ne yire ni afa ne ma na ya de o maka ho as dependent na nye ho ana eso na ya san allocate stipend ya betimi asan friend allowance e de ama ne yire separate ne man so me miense obi abenya bi separate ye wia ya san so atwa e tekita ma enkwala no mumu bia ene ne yire ene ono amu ne de omukọ
me pacho category of scholarship be no
me da minim dia minim and the standard practice when it comes to scholarship regimes.
Yes,
when we say dependence in the context of scholarships it has to do with the immigration policy of the host countries. Mensa Thompson team pa. And for example, UK allow dependents. Me mama gifty. Me mama mo last born no. Me kunu nya scholarship kusua de already. And was sending no invitation. And I order the visa no joining me kunu. So it has to do with the immigration law. Say country na mission there also as a beneficiary no. Does their immigration law allow me say make me dependents are joining me and clear?
Yes.
Now, say question answer ne be yes sir. It is not government's business.
Say you on the
so and I'm my example say me mo niaketwa gift no. Ni kunu no an sending a personal invitation. And facilitating with bank statements bibia Emma okoje ne visa joining ni kunu. You not get the picture.
I get you straight.
So me will say or granting interview be or baby say a minimum allowed. Nobody has Obianka say that is not in contention.
Who granted that
now benya wan Kingsley Ajiman. What I say allowed. Nobody is contesting say allowed. But na me tell mama what I say it has to do with the immigration law in your country. Be wa Mensa Thompson nya scholarship sia so kusua de o Ebiana country no permitting say as a scholarship beneficiary no obey invite you bia. Say what I say.
Yes,
and a country should be permitted say what you know bet me amana be during your period of study. They make us what
so immigration law they be determined.
And they be determined. So ebia ya ni UK for ewo ayonkofo bia dia manfo ko ha said ni pa no person obefa na yire and our person obefa na ban must be the person's personal business.
And you Ghana by business.
And we are the other. Some men are Thompson, Aqua, Tina, baby, so you PhD or London. Now, what they know because winter into a pay, Ninkantima, they can't host. How is that John Mohammed's business?
Intimate your
business.
I want you.
Meaning, Yatia. Now, dear ya woman say, Ofo be Mammy can deal with that lady. Ofo be to say, give to your worry. Now, me person me prove it. Chemu denti ana adwen born in the territory.
Give to your worry sign.
Give to your worry sign wa ha.
NSS give to your worry.
Yes, ye mani kunu Peter Mensah. Ni kunu your friend Peter Mensah. Ye manu scholarship so nkusua onkoye LLM or Brunel. All corona ye give to your worry. So let me read the award letter here. So I say we confirm that Peter Mensah has been awarded a financial scholarship by the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat to study LLM at Brunel University, London, United Kingdom, which commenced January 2022. The scholarship covers Peter Mensah and his dependent listed above, and it covers all the tuition fees of £17,875 and living expenses of £16,008. It also covers his dependent, Gifty Afia or Mensah spouse, living expenses of £8,160. And this cannot be true because Mensah Gifty Owari at the time was a deputy director in charge of national service and couldn't have left the shores of Ghana to join the husband as a dependent during the period of study.
So meaning that
meaning
what you say? No,
no, check this like my person say or the adwen papa na no person the boa man for. Meme chere say oboa. Purely because of other motives. Because yet Oko Gender Ministry, now Oko National Development Planning Commissioner. Yaya research ayewo leap households more than 300,000 in Ghana. It is a person boa only be for ankasa. You target households no,
and you definitely get the data.
You have the data. To me, Oko Upper West, a few women in Yawo, Hanewo, Oko Central Region, Hanewo, Oko. Then you target these people. Now, can you buy a list? You are money, your intention were good. But if you are one or your appointee, edgy pay, a war security, a V8, a bet in your TSS weight times 5. Or the not can you who say, or it depend on knowing, say, Metia, me, but them took our chief of staff approve. So there is no way Gifty can leave the source of Ghana and abandon the job as a deputy director at NSS. But to go and stay in UK.
But more running an audit tracking such a good.
What you say? A typical case that say, sir, excuse no, the man say no person boa Ghana for no boni be na wa ye no. I am proving it to him say oboa. Ko opo bi aboa na ye nkro for mu hia moa ankaza buza we go bi to be kire o. What you say? Ah mu ni bi. Ah school fees 2,000 kro mu ntimi ntua. Ofa bi ohoma tum this year. Edum kra 1,000 they cannot afford.
Bebre.
Etum ko committee £17,875 on one person as the husband. Then the stipend alone 16,000. And another 8,000 on gift your wallet.
That is 24.
And ya no kwa ye wi to take it ama gift your wallet asan to take it ama nyukunu no na mo dia ko at the expense of government.
Yes.
Afi san hwa ha.
No, honorable situation akoto yero no.
Dia mako enti sika no a ye se ya critica £40 million na wo UK no. Afi wo hu ba bi afa.
Tina na menu friends na person obeka bibia na wa hold on
because na friend ya sha say be hwe.
Oh, then I'm sorry.
You na enti obi bottom aye ma by government of Ghana deka. You na get the picture. Good. Afi san hwe ha. We so your friend no Bernard Champion Chum or say we confirm that Bernard Champion Chum has been awarded financial scholarship by Ghana Scholarship Secretariat for study PhD in construction management at the University of Reading, United Kingdom. The other main things here, the scholarship covers Bernard Champion Chum and his dependents listed above, and it covers all tuition fees of £19,330, living expenses of £12,180 per annum. It also covers tier listing. It also covers his dependents. Abner Champon, spouse number 1, living expenses of £7,605 and per annum, and £6,120 per annum each to Bernard Chum Jr. a Champon son. Yes, and Bernard Chum a Champon, another son, and Regina Dennis Apenem a Champon daughter, into 4 people. Now be stipend.
Relocation.
American lottery. So virtually they were running an American lottery sort of system at the secretariat where you bet me say we can give you an offer for you and your entire family. It's so obvious.
It's racketeering.
One person is going to stay.
Meaning what I say?
Straight.
Yes, yeah, ma scholarship near the Oma.
How?
Omania me so say na ye do mu nyina e ka ho. Na ye ya fa ho ka visa processing secretariat na etua. Ye wia ya mo stipend. Ye wia ya twa air ticket amom na ba ku bi kura de.
But were they doing it according to
allowance?
No, were they doing it according to the laws of your country? No, and I said they were just doing it.
Oti wo wa kreti. Ti say de na wo kan Samia Okumudi. Ya kreti. What you say? Enti ye na ade ne te say de ye run American lottery. Brad Bonanza. Na de onu abusuafo kọ. Obi kura de ne yire no ena na ye beneficiary no. Ena ni kunu no mum ye dependent on ne ma. Na ono kwabrane na timi asan omkodu ye no ya ma omo ama menso omakodu. Kwabrane na timi atro de address secretariat ne say ne yire na nya family issue. Enti secretariat ni twa take it man. No no family solve family issue no man yire na yire ni nya kwansu ade. Na eno
ye so secretariat
etua. What you say? Edoso. Kwabena enkola ni pitch ebi ni ba can show them any.
No, it's not ethical.
Any Kwabena ebi ni.
Oh.
Sounds so baako. Or say we confirm that Benedict Osei Kwatin has been awarded a financial scholarship by Ghana Scholar to study MSc Environmental Management at Brunel. And Brunel now your jet legacy debt ho. Edaho. Like there's a legacy debt at Brunel. Now, or say it also covers his dependent Juliet Kumi spouse living expenses 8,160 per annum. Pounds. Neda ho. Na dientia meme deck is liajiman.
MPP.
Say or catch the obia says short courses no. Na it was meant say person de boa Ghana for genulia or boa. Other than say oil visa racketeering and they say short course you are applying for 10 years visa for people.
Short course no 2 weeks no.
Yes.
Now or apply visa 10 years
for Mansa Thompson baby.
Yeah,
memo na wa.
Meba 2 weeks now or apply 10 years and every month be nipa no go 2 weeks aba.
Short course on one raising memo say a short course na nipa na koye but this application saying 10 years. You tia as much as 17,000 for the processing of that visa.
No, but
also, the longer the duration, the higher the application fee.
This is criminal.
Okay, the difference in say there was no act back in the secretariat, but the referee who say on them when you baby, you say offer comfort you na mutia so forward. The referee say the PFMA act no. I guide aban expenditures. The referee who say or go through procurement no yes I normal way now so the procurement act will apply.
Exactly.
No who say on nyansa will be system. Men kwati I was say oba no obeto ka 203 million and there was secretariat to what almost 1 billion Ghana cedis in UK alone.
1 billion
Ghana cedis in UK alone. o betu na me betu 200 a senka manyam tire didim obi ja 200 as debt will be inherited. You can quote almost 1 billion Ghana cedis. US, one who didn't say Memphis for year Ghana.
Yeah.
Threatening to deport our students,
yes.
And we had to cough $2 million within a short time.
So as for you,
aside Kwabena no Canada or menka ho asem. Your bilateral agreements with Algeria, Morocco, India, Serbia, China, Russia. Nina everyone answer omo better thing the most say man say 2 years yentua omo allowance ma omo monte all because ehonu tia unya hwin film ti no ba bia bibi be film no ehona ye focus e na nkwala no kra na ya ma omo scholarship regular na omo sua de nkra no ye mfi omo e na ene abeye burden. You did debt collectors, you be more a man if you are hostel. Because UK, the situation is just hard.
So tell me, with Sir Sikano Esena Mutiano under Kingsley Ajime, now because a Honokabe Dao,
what is ready? I nekada. We Crown agents, they are nekada.
A them sir,
and you buy zero debt, you neka. Bibia them Frenching and take note. Crown Agents UK in 2022 was in the process of liquidation, and there are even instances where a state agency me say me was sick na Security and Exchange Commission person yede staff echo for short course no be participate by ebe 40 billion na then our letters are issued on behalf of GSS. Babia, sa payment na sek be ya ba no di obi anim babia wo.
So as of with the current situation I will catch no. A year day na ultimate run that office within the speech of
so what I'm doing is say na normal na nti no adebu a me pese me hu me so na me say me kan na me so what we have discovered ni say Endra ya comrade back this week oba me office na nia bre scholarship ni nua den so I took that award letter and I'm the man audit for ni say validate it for me omo check here no the die fast no kra na nye signed but the person has managed to get a signed copy I no dia come school no my invoice.
Yeah, no, you say.
Meaning, ebi musu crowd here or what? Any year fast. So obi ti baby say no, you beneficiary. I am an award letter, but me record any year fast. How they manage to get it? Meaning, me buy me two, and I will show you. Me ya bomidi January 28. And I've been in office since that time.
Okay.
And so you were one letter we had dated March. As I want letter.
No, sign.
I am saying.
March 2025.
March 2025. What am I show? You were one letters on the 31st December now.
Yeah, why say me channel?
Or King's large man also. Any
31st
yeah. So you can look at it.
Yes. All right. So let me check the date here. 17 March 2025. The international admission officer, Bangor University.
Yes.
College Road. Okay, so it goes on UK. All right, so okay, so let me check the signatory signed by Dr. Kingsley Ajima, registrar. Yes, A2.
Bakusu 14th March. You were there. You said that crowd throw their bread me and kasa so did that fast so.
17th March.
17th March.
That's the future leaders now.
Come now, what you say? And we no say Bangor. Due diligence by writing to me for verification and I go through, then they will just send us the invoice for government of Ghana to pay.
Uba and Unya handing over notes from Kingsley Ajimai.
hwini enti say man to me bo am for many am to forma on the you see and scholarship area na technical kakra
very
enti normally we will be books no obehu books it will not make sense to you eti say me ba afoforo no and me demand say me pese me hu e kana ye de dead liabilities ni na unim say some crofo dependence ni na na omo de omo list be me say ye de omo ka ana ebi mo ba office wo say omo stipend na allocate mo omo no omo ko ba ye na fe na e betu enti omo be je omo sika enti ye audit na afe na na make sense to me and some crofo ni say say me bomba ku mi no bi ansi wo bi
so which is na akwaya source of the milk.
Oh, now when crofo e wa ha when crofo team na na e wo ho no me di ba ku picture better omo no me be say me so ni mu ya asa na me de di ato abonte oh me be say me so ni mu ya asa na me de di ato abonte be ba oh na no de pa so de oni no
Uhuruku tu
wo hu no
se fufu a
oni
mama hwe
uhuruku tu wani we o poni o madam ko
oni
na madam fo o so na na
akwa de bibia wo ko ho
ka na madam fo
bibia wo
so hu
akoyo question we dey say nchimi
so hu
what radio su kra ya or throw to the Facebook
okay I asepa we dey yi we ma bensa wo dey read the mabobi read the me person me wo dey tie brofo no
but you go mic no
I say we write to respectfully seek your kind approval for the purchase of a return ticket from UK to Ghana. I'm a Spicer scholarship beneficiary in the United
okay brofo no
Spicer.
And you no na beneficiary no.
It has become necessary for me to travel to Ghana to attend to very critical family complications and return to assist my spouse in taking care of the children as she concentrates on her studies.
We na e be manu a
babusia meeting
ono babusia meeting enti ono atro the address secretariat ni say you try take it manu no family babusia meeting. That was how the standard was lowered to
Jaga Piru fry I send a message was say it can be an abi and me boy you are lying Jaga Piru you are lying I beg for you mutukuruma
so Kwabena
yes
the makoto so no
question a man for busa say okoto so na dey na moye o hear message say ba as a man for bo
yeah na make be sure say yeah a lot of arrest but I have not put that information out there because they are civil servants
and some others have started singing.
So minim say Kwabena what you say
ma to ase
so on the any fair on my part to
is there a board
no say you under presidency so under chief of staff
so far the arrest say in numbers
in numbers be 7 be 7
and how many are they under bail conditions
yes and crime reporting they report to NIB.
You mentioned public procurement authority. You said you have to go to procurement.
No, say no there. The buying of tickets goes through procurement. So I only refer to
within the institution of National Procurement Authority.
No, there was threshold way technically. Your threshold that was a call PP and Kasa. And your threshold that you don't have to go through PP, you just go through.
But Mama Musa with infrastructure. State Ben Abeto
me buy na because of National Cathedral no ye bubu your office no 4-story na wo parliament enye ba bia ye be main cathedral no the other side of parliament no but was still they went ahead on bubu no and GS council for dan bia wo Accra High School achi ho o mama ye be 5 rooms bi na ye shame and so create a lot of problems my because e makwan ma ebi mutimi ko posi o ba bi say e ho na ye scholarship secretariat ifa ba bia ye wo sisi asenye se Kwabena be ba ho na be ba beto me a ubisa ho nto a e won ye din so be je di say Ghana scholarship secretariat
but it's a rent
and your rent am dey my for free that time om ebubu dan ti om offer say om wo e dan kakra ho betimi di ama enti afi na ye two anamon so I've been ye two anamon say the then chief of staff remote pare say get financing a new office ever secretariat no into you have any good engagement how best within John Mahama time you beat me see a permanent office for the secretary for security reasons is very key. And yes sir ubenya nkrofo a omo be posi as omo ne ekra na ye adwuma o nsem bibiri na amanfo fall victim.
Apart from infrastructure system with employment system it is a
in terms of staff and capacity we are okay.
Okay.
Yes, in terms of staff, just that we will need a PR office. We don't have. In the case of just a registrar na, but I believe say your corporate affairs and your PR unit. And you be na was a man am eba ebeka.
It's important.
Into many head of civil service are discussing. Also train you are to forcing open financial clearance to recruit. Once that is given, you better create that office under Ghana Scholarship Secretary.
So with the messages I'm reading here, like New York says, forget about them. They just come on air and talk plenty, no action. When the party supporters, when Ghanaians, the 57 people, confront you with this question, what can you say?
You will be our energy say on person will be reason with you. And obiswa onim say oka so be bibia because the first time I'm a bar like one kasa okay.
Yes.
Ye din komoni du ba bi ma me say ba bi wo ho a me pese meka. Me ko ye wie no. Masa ba ha aba beka. Me kan e man kan keke. Ma tell say ya ti nipa benson. Every Wednesday they report to the NIB. Masa ka tell say Kingsley was put on the stop list and was arrested at the airport. I don't know better mekana. Now, what more can we do beyond this?
I'm a mark in Kujaka.
What I say?
Really?
Oh, and I make I am not that Kwabena me. Maybe I am a babon Tiabeka say. Because baby, I'm a person you drew you know what I say.
Meet the organizer.
Baby, you know, Casa one eye, the bay year, Dumanon. Why? So I'm for be a fraud now online. Yeah, probably you do any more power for a bidding come.
I see.
Oh, and your castle. Don't you say?
The organizer. But
when sometimes you give out too much information, woman depends on one.
Yes. So I saw what you call for now, boss Irene. Palme.
We will be a senka ye chi staff no. Secretariat on Camede to Abontine and Ghana where baby staff as scholarship secretariat. But
playing to the gallery.
What you say? But me feel say okay, these are civil servants, in all honesty and fairness. Ebimukra a prosecution witnesses. So
to don't expose such people.
Say what I will get the type of it. I've played audios on him. He knows what we have.
Nede.
Only one we have but
audios nede.
Musa we home so na me nko ewunia so baby I don't try no with anyama akoto ye no. How do you feel as a Ghanaian?
And I'm make catcher say I feel very sad because bintna ha enka se sika nya de papa sika de ye ba Kwabena Santima Mponfo ye chere se pen kwan papa so now into and we have had MPs confess to me how much they bought scholarships.
Hi.
MPs.
Hi.
Even some are chairman of committees in parliament.
Hi.
£10,000, $21,000. Even me call me rounds, me call UK. One of these abonini came to me thinking I would continue, telling me they were doing their job. I'm saying I say ni bi wo ha or Kwabena information ni bi wo ha. Me call US, they came to my hotel. What mean say what you say?
Yes.
Enti so what so party for no do agro ne be de. Me tie say Kofobu I anchi wo ma me ankasa personally I'll be disappointed. And the reason why that call is important, I bet me a reset is that the moment o man penino clamp it down on corruption indirectly or catch the current appointee say
show who ye
because me che o mo mi wi ameko o ko ya wo no man na say the next regime ni ba no mu so mu a wa wasem. So that in itself will instill some level of discipline in the current appointees.
You don't know for sure.
And I make Kwabena, we are all for it. There you. Kwabena me meeting if you are tremade, dear enemy here. I don't mean you and Sano the other.
Would you hear we say?
Baby, I don't mean you and Kwabena the other.
Nothing.
I had the year Nipabu.
Canada Japan clock or 270.
And see, Adia, a sad that mammy real when they say. So Obeka so obeju obi sika ansa na woman scholarship. Of course, your instances are meant na emeka say yi. Obu wa utimi ye papa bi ma no. Also ene G appointing ene G way it happens. Sometimes President Kufuor ka say me. Also ye adwuma ne friendship kra you end up benefiting than say we be corruption.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get it. And nipa ne ma ne papa ni bi no. The only hope for that person is education.
Yeah.
Eti o ka chire say nipa ne say wan tua sika ye ma wa. Forgetting say sa nipa no ne ma me say PK kura na sachet water no ton a o tua tax. O meaning so what sika na wo dey ye dey amount as budget no. Ne ma me say wo. And you are denying that person because that person is unable to give you some money. Guy na then call UK and say me no baby as if say Nyankopon pa ne kan akoma of Owie Pope Jones ne ma me awu 3 years ago stroke ne ku no.
Oh sorry.
Owie Pope Jones na mu na papa na ni fry no ye carpenter ni enti akwala ba kono na wo so no na hwe ne papa ono a wawie secondary school and somebody drew my attention say wa ben me je ne results hwe no A throughout 1B.
Wow.
A throughout 1B. And there was this program be omo London a summer camp program, STEM program. And omo extending invitation my until omo go through competitive. And paso akwala no na brofo no choose no because when we do the interview, yeah the omo details ma brofo no omo so ne omo virtual interview
to make sure so omo
no more out of it nipa 5 out of nipa 3 we na show. Patching and I was show say oh yeah omiti a criteria then Peter was selected. Or for 15 days. Or embark here in Kwan airport 2 days na ne papa wi.
Oh.
Saturday we are ni je ne papa yi. Last week I was voter regime.
But akwala
and made the Algerian scholarship nearby and they not come medical students no until very soon and so you'll be embarking to Algeria to study medicine.
Wow.
What I say?
Wow.
Peter from anywhere you will be yes. And as if na papa no pe obi de ne banana man na wo ko. We say 2 days or 2 free Ghana 2 days na papa ni free. Ti akwala no ko ba ya wa meto ne papa.
I was here go. Anyway, so when me so na pensu bin me say ba wonu aba be wie eye on hihye ya odi be peja friends scholarship secretariat no. Na say the osika yen say papa bu wo ya na kra na se ehun akatua ne so me ne hu nto say ya papa be bre ya nyehwe ya no ya ho so da ya nim say ya akatua so
interestingly and one kasa obra pani award akona deserve to the man. You see in politics the complex does it Kwabena microphone be mbenya skapa but eneno nko Kwabena musa bibi beto aduro kra no kra mebo bana cash you can cash on crofo so sa nyame nhyirawo sa empire na amafo bo akomam de ma no Kwabena na ma otimi di 80 na wo ye intact no hwe ya papa gbevlolate in the 70s
what they say
but our health intact. What I say? Obetimi drive from Ghana to Togo.
No, I can't do that. Momo no nyame shramone de. You can never too. Rasa be
abagie system no na ama na ye. So let me use PC appeal for example. PC appeal for born in na say he decided to be honest and truthful to serve his country. ɛnɛ PC abrabom te sen etika state ni betimi a me masem America was a state ni betimi a obi say no etimi kura yes e be man bibia free so that it sets an example for others to follow.
And yes, I'm not going to say, come and dinner crew.
And that is the only way. See, Kwabena send me ask, oh, can. I didn't want to say the Americans will cry again, and you know, I don't say, why would anybody want to do this to one country?
Yeah, it's so sad. So sad.
Why would you want to do this?
So
you will see car. You
will not do that. Anyway, never. Honorable Mr. Thompson, I want to say, Honorable Kwaba. na onim say ya mfa sabi obuo antumodin so a abontin so ni nebe ye na ye nuano mo de nanso ese ba bia pempenso amoaduru no sabe mo so mo man na ya hoho a ya nije tie say ye ene hoho amo na bontin so ni so de obu ayede ama enti masro so na bonumu mame na ye friend say abro nya kura no friend honorable honorable mood sro
next year na o honorable no so kola no gina chire wuti
ye no ni asem no koda no gina wuti anyway so minia akwa babio and mamema otrinkwa and as usual anytime I no mu be di nkomo no now you drew the era you person who the state ya mokoto mu various institutions exchange commission. Tell us, say, uko rura hono, a na muhuye with exchange commission.
You come na me that say, my chair at here for an every na me ma citizen show a happy birthday. And then I'm on young fields.
Yes, 7 years.
I mean, the Kaipa, yeah, fair show I started in a house.
Easy.
I mean, I'm not Kwame Car say when you then I finish showing 7 years, I'm saying, wow, it brought me a lot of memories.
Sure.
Bumper is a show, you koso.
Ami.
Na Jumedi Amodi, a Juma Kesia, citizen show, a boy, one of the major contributors to the success of the NDC in the last elections. Ultimately, citizen show free.
Ami.
And I mean, and yet party no kwa and recognize it. I think the Ghana for United recognize it. Say, indeed, we provided a platform for the voice of Ghanaians to be heard in that difficult moment. Sebio Kwabena Okakwanenka.
Yes.
Ultimately, me wano okromha, ubi wano ana usuru. And it was that difficult moment, Citizen Show rose to provide that big platform for all our voices to be heard. Kwabena, the first time Mira Citizen Exchange Commission, maybe Mami and starting free, I say,
Kwabena,
you can't Securities and Exchange Commissioner. It's one of the things I look at in Nimjumedia Yedi. One of the most important state institutions offer the financial sector, the central bank, Bank of Ghana.
Yeah.
Just about 20 to 30% of the work in the financial sector.
I see.
Yes, the rest is the Securities and Exchange Commission.
About 70% now.
About your National Insurance Commission, who handles insurance, they do about 10-15. NPRA about 10-15, but a huge chunk of the job in the financial sector is done by the SEC.
I see.
80 regulatory financial institutions, banks. They're more licensed, but only on their capital market activities. That is the investment, Until the stock exchange, any regulatory, the Ghana Stock Exchange, until exchanges, Hong Kong, any equity side, Hong Kong, you're the Ghana Stock Exchange, you're the alternative exchange, or you do not have the OTC market.
Yeah.
If you go to the commodities exchange, also they trade commodities on it. And sana what about the fixed income market? Bonds, treasury bills. Anyway, I buy person issue treasury bills. I buy person issue bonds. Bank of Ghana person issue bonds. You
have a lot of loads, eh?
And sana, if you fixed income market, na waba so the equities market, the fixed income market, the commodities market. These are a huge chunk of the job. Then you come to the asset management. Companies are managing people's investment. So we have the collective investment schemes. No manage no so
the pension funds.
So and some pension funds so the pension fund managers so say pension the managing pension funds. The pension funds from more license and some NPR register or more for them to be able to.
Okay.
Into the financial sector no edwuma ni nyina in fact into edwuma ne so pa yo asase kakraka edda cantonment higher right first one obna ura officer yetima you'll be shocked. The first time ura officer me say into I for the Timitina office for 8 years. World Bank for my iska say can fancy office and also omoye no basa and a process no a truncate
sikane buy.
Yes, they give the money to start the procurement processes, even to construct a new building.
How much?
No, so it was just not for the building itself.
Yes.
So the procurement processes, so the World Bank was paying. They were paying.
Okay.
Invoice now the
World Bank. Okay. So they paid from the World Bank.
Yes, but it didn't get to the point where they were awarded a contract. But that is just the space. That's just the state of the infrastructure.
Yes.
Apart from that, we share the staff capacity. Ejuma war on the normal be boss workload no eson papa. Some of your unit or we have some of the units and department are nipa bakope.
Yes.
Your current staff capacity is 85. Some of the staff, some of the department, it's a mobile.
So which means money office to accommodate.
So we can't employ.
Because the 8 years no more here.
Almost assassin cry. Assassin. Assassin done change Ministry of Finance Minister of Finance the official residence omotonye ansa no moko.
Minister of Finance.
Minister of Finance, Minister for Finance. The official residence are no team. Ufiri wa nasa no akoye office. Omoton ansa no moko. Enti omoton ye de na ka ho.
I'm a private developer. Na ye no abai no ntimi retrieve ye.
Minister of Finance and Minister so on farm.
Good.
Yeah, Minister so on farm.
Good. That's right.
That should tell you apart from that, Governor, and the way in quite change the state of Mujai, the capital market. Also 2019, Omo revoke license of the friend is saying fund management companies.
Yeah.
Revoke and then Pakistan do more omo revoke omo license. Omo we 2022 omo started DDP kan ho na say sector no cry.
Haircut no.
Esa say sector no cry. Bakobna e call any say okay 2019 companies na omo revoke omo license no. On say sa me ko fo bebre e complain say omo sanka omo sika.
Ya gene license.
Company no. Yes. Abaya ye bailout. Okay. Now, Kwabena bailout ni ye no. de na ban yeni enkofo no omo musika share sa fan management company no na edin se omo sabe ka omo musika nti aban se meje companies license me aban me twa sika de ama your friends say receiver no na odi etua moka na me aban ma tonton nkofo no japade na se sikam de ma wan so me de bi ase tua moka na de aka no me de akɔhye aban be bi aban fa sika no efiri ya odi ko ye bail out no me de akɔhye ho kwabena what you say
yeah
inti aban say or revoke license no or ye bail out no e say you tua retail investors sika ma omo inti aban say me ko fa sika firi ha na me de tua but companies no enya pade no me de mensa to company enya pade no so nya me beton na me de scanner tika aban no mabɔ no so na me de bi so omo nsan kan omo sika no so me de bi atua kwabena omo revoke his license no na omo fa official liquidator PORC Office of Registrar of Company liquidator no omo any PWC eno mo di eje nkofo omo satu nkofo ni nyina eja pade so kwamna se me ka kire o ekwan omo fa so tonton sa financial institutions no nya pade a kwamna rebe ho
ti say GN Bank no
yes no black shield yes
so fund
management companies, you know, and is they see it's not different from what happens at the bank with the banks. It's the same thing,
the same trend.
If we say a woman, book them enemy.
Yes, pejama for hubi
documents, you know. But if we say me who no car a ton of 1,500 Ghana cedis.
Oh,
me who be that?
Oh,
and check you be forensic audit. This is just information.
Those fund managements now collapsing companies no. Ya almost almost air ton or more Japan. Now one more the be also so tia. One now go invest in Japade no omuto bi car 1,500
Ghana cedis.
1,500 no e betumi atua hwan ka
kwabna chese asifem normally bi wo ha kwabna uhuna na uti paiwo
la ilaha illallah
se aban aboka edisiketua nkofoka na ose nkofo na omagikwaji nkofo sika no me tongo majapade na midibi ekotia ha hwe come offer we car ose come this is 2019 mind you
2019
and this car Hyundai Elantra 2015 registered into 2019 in that time car na be 4 years per system 2015 registered come na omoton 27,000
ha
come na Nissan Versa 2017 registered. This is 2019. Omotono 13,000.
Yani fund management
kwabna me pese me de fund management ni de
mate
but share Nissan Almera. So ni Nissan Almera car.
Yes.
Omoton 18,000.
Aya dada ma omo ana say go back would be say what I said just 4 years in the system.
Hyundai Grant, so Hyundai i10.
Yes.
2016 registered. Omoton 4,200. 4,200 car.
Hey.
Hyundai i10. Hyundai i10 2017. Omoton 1,500. 2017. In 2019, almost 1,500.
Within 2 years.
2 years, almost 1,500.
1,500.
Into me who will me from say I didn't my mistake. 15,000. I'm more trainer. My mistake. I'm say there 1,500.
1,500.
1,500.
Obi a Japade.
Kwabna Honda Pilot 2015 registered almost 10,000.
2015.
I'm ton 10,000.
Not 2019.
2019. I'm ton 10,000.
4 years.
I'm ton 10,000. Kwabena Toyota Corolla. I'm ton 9,000. Kwabena. Kwabena. No money be wa na no man we cars ni nyapade na or air conditions ni sa office equipments no crowd over be ho no muton 15 Ghana 20 Ghana
ha
Kwabena
that customers at Rosu
ensu twen musika Kwabena me say offer asset a omugie every companies ni ho a Kwabena omuton assets no ekwan a ifa so ton finchima Kwabena anka customer bi no ansan kan sika
ti na problem ni free
ka customer bi no ansan kan sika
mo chamber party for
Kwabena na ha Kwabena ye adwuma bi e wo ho ye wi a Ghana for yembe sure mo and me ni say next time obi hunu party e friend MPP a ahwe a onko ho
ha ton car 1,500 car just 4 years in the system 1,500 Ghana cedis
Kwabena na car no tie and 9 egu ase no cry saying car no ne tie 9 egu ase no e saying 1,500 what obi ambe so mo hwe and Kwabena enti what no din now say enti NPP boni ben pa na Ghana for yede ye omo boni ben kwa Kwabena this is just one sector
just one sector
me say ye adwuma bi ye wi a and it's terrible. It's really
Mensa, tell me, I know you and I know your principles in life. Me know anantiache. How did you feel?
To be honest, say, I mean, you opposition. You say NPP for me in Papa. You say Boni omu trim. So Boni omu di Boni. But I didn't expect this extent of wickedness towards this country. I didn't. The things I've seen, it makes me shudder. Say, na day, Edian Kwa.
Enti one more access ni be a dining and
sase no Kwabena on turn
oh
and Kwabena anything na ye ho because some of them who they sold the things to
wealthy people
nti Kwabena ebe kan ho asem
what me air track on
bad
I said it will be there
bad. Yeah, mama chill baby. Me for dini toja.
No, don't do it.
Office office equipment no. Omo tonton no. Me pese o de
MPP.
Yeah.
Makulo.
I go it. Yeah. We edibeni. We edibeni.
Office equipment no
conform to Toma almost any normally be
say computer
cabinets
what do you control my office what time free
airtime
Mensa with the name of when the Ghana for NDC supporters be ya dwene se wo team say let the jail flow when you let the blood flow let the jail flow will you agree with them?
Yes, Kwabena, I agree with them to a very large extent, but I also want to encourage them say they should be patient. Kwabena, you see a lot of the anything near Emma supporters no and I understand them quite
yes
me tiechire actor me kadida nka me ye
ka wo to aboko park no so
but so now share the kind of work that has to go into unearthing boneno mo di no Okay, that's one. To then building a case, that's two.
Factual.
A case, a strong case, and gathering all the evidence. Okay, and then initiating an action to conviction. Then you will appreciate why things are not moving as fast as they want. And I mean, so now some of us were recommending the setup of maybe a fast track court or a tribunal to be dealing with some of these things, because Kwabena said you can say you be go through the normal legal system now. Ebe drag it, because already the courts are overburdened. Apart from that, there's a lot of work that is going on. And Kwabena bonino omudi one of the challenger, most of the appointees, if it's home office, they say bonino omudi any doors until we have just ube we back na for free pay now attention echo now so for I said then after you don't know which case or they court or and I said which case now will start now then I mean there's a lot of confusion, but you best say I don't think there's anybody in this government who doesn't want to see the people who raped this country punished for it. I don't think there's anybody in this government.
Mensa, boss no mpeni for mu ra hono. Mama Musa, the issues with those fund managements must study the basis of the egu no, and are those bases legit?
A lot of them was political.
Really?
A lot of them.
Me pacho say no onye NDC
a lot of them.
We say we are Ghana some for
some of them went to court.
And
yeah, a lot of them were political. A lot of them were political. In fact, there were fund management companies at the time of the revocation, not the your license, they were doing better than some of the companies or Muja system.
I see.
Yes.
Per the records.
And say or more now senka omo kuya senka omuja almost struggle with system. So you could see there's a lot of the fund management companies are
Mube maintain a report on World Bank on fund management now or more egu and as a World Bank and come say we had a meeting with the IMF. The IMF is in town. So as part of their review, we met them this afternoon, and we are dealing with a lot of the legacy issues. To say the
a lot of the legacy issues.
What is the observations?
Because Unim said since 2019 on revoke license, still now the bailout process have not come to an end. Kofobe still have not received their money.
In the Sakano so much
Kwabena a car mujato or honokwa about 4.5 billion Ghana cedis. Yeah. And and the pressure
I can tell.
Yes,
I can tell.
And people are calling on a daily basis. That Ben Number 2 is come don't say you also the one complaints and some of the people are mobile on say mami penny retirement it's terrible. And the crime of fast with the years who clean up it was so terrible, but you can't the bad news. Let me share some good news with you.
I will deal with the good news and now person may know who the exact and yema mokoto and 2-3 be our be so with the issues about how Japadian ya turn say nkatie and it's so sad. It's so sad. Pension na mesaya ba. I know say Awingo better will be, but let me deal with Asafoje back, then I'll finish with Yeminia, then many Awingo better so around in the upper my honorable Asafoje, let me come back to you. And so with Uniano Nema Wania Sheno, I'm shocked. Say fund management for no mugu no. omo japade no so mo ton no mo de aba be shima betua eye customers ne ka no ye ton car adi just 4 years 1500 Ghana cedis car 1500 no better dia kutua customer bi ka ye ton air condition 50 cedis
me Kwabena Bobie nkomo ne ka kono me hu me pese me kasa bebri oh the Ghana for person mu nyina ye action
yes
the Ghana for
me see dia course on social media na nye bete
me pese me san kom bebribe the me de nim say urajo mama osia oyo and obey
tell us scholarship secretariat within from January to October na first dia be niam na be appoint se Kwabena adwuma ye bie yensem abosome nkron aya ugiri se adwuma ya co speed
and they be brave so any kind the normal bilateral scholarships ongoing ya Algeria Hungary ya Serbia
there's just something already there
yes and you per se you move away from the manual application system now where obi person apply for scholarship the person doesn't come in contact with me and now obi so I don't even know you to even determine say me disqualify or and say be qualify and now whatever influence there is so you build a new system now near the local tertiary scholarship no nansen minimum so
yes
and no 5,000 no 2,000 for brilliant but needy
okay
so the novelty say okay score sec I decided so my 5,000 scholarships out of 5,000 you CD 2,000 for brilliant but needy students
more for
needy now no fee stress policy no it take key like any taking care of or more no level 100 across tertiary institutions
yeah
into the presumption is that omunya is free so now there is no barrier to entering tertiary institution what you say so yes scholarship no cover from level 200 and a second year upwards na enye said e be political interference from into the scholarship secretary never determine say yem fan say University of Ghana ye de Bobie ye brilliant but needy and I say Kwamkwachi ye brilliant but needy no so we put together a technical committee. The technical committee is chaired by Professor Raymond Atuguba.
Great.
Yes. And your own brother Kofi Asarimuna, they are there.
Great.
So that is the technical committee in charge. Omuna is supervising the implementation of 2,000 scholarships. Now, yes, CDDMA brilliant but needy students. And so the faculties in the various tertiary institutions are going to administer that 2,000 scholarship on our behalf.
Okay.
Then they will only provide us with the data.
Okay. But are they going to use a very tight
yes so the terms
system
be
because brilliant but needy now African Prosperity Group no idea here for sika
I will go bit yes scholarship secretariat me match me ho in chain
very good
so yama neutral minds and HAD anymore you know I Edu Watch is so yes yeah. So I don't participate in their meetings simple I only ask for briefing maybe on my document normally I just go through if it's fine
so there's no interference
here no schools in na share no more so based on Legon capacity out of 2,000 no if you say yema Legon 200 okay yema UDS it be 300 AC yema way 100 Yema way 150, Yema way 50, Yema way 6. You get it? They will now decide, and based on not say Oba University of Ghana say almost student aid. They know the records of students are as struggle financially, but Omabing. Well, they have that data already. Until Omo selection based on criteria no be determined. Until Omo constitute Omo panel of various schools no. As when who should be part of the committee to determine who gets what. So, Enyasa for JSMBU.
Okay.
Meaning say Kwabena what
Yes, yes.
So I don't come in. Now we can say as for JNDC ninti mami nko hu no. Bobie meaning say what my point na say. The be at the end of the day beneficiaries now more the ma or mono. We need their names and their information just for data keeping. Asa.
Okay.
And that 2000 they will be interfere with it.
Okay.
Now, okay, you Mahama essential share boss or per se yemboa ye Muslimi brothers no more zungus no. And also ye CD 300 edema ye no more zungu communities no.
Oh, moye.
Yeah.
The JM can say moye.
Yeah. And also no your committee in charge. 2 members from the Chief Imam's office, 2 members from Islamic Students Union, 2 members from the National Conference of Muslim Association, then 2 members from Inner Cities and Zongo Development.
Okay, great.
Almost on a committee, oversee how that
Dr. Santawa.
Yes, oversee other Okadino Krebu having, but we only wrote to them.
He's the president of Inner Cities.
What I say, Omonfa. Edinim nominees in Bray, and they've been having their own meetings.
Okay.
Until more who do more, they should just do it, give us the data. I feel bio yasanso ama TVET instructors. Social scholarships. May assure that recently
yes.
Into almost so
that man for Rizzi say why just TVET?
No. And your monk was a mekaba.
Okay.
Lecturers so more nursing training institution so yamo. And
is it the first time?
Yes, first time. And then ma honorable account of Babeka say ma instructors of one nursing training so
scholarship.
So he doing this from us.
Okay. But this a novel.
A novel.
Wow.
Yes. And another another one so yeah. Wa unia kipo NIB boss.
Yeah.
Onso yakoshiano ya mo 30 capacity building. NIB. Yes. I've met with IGP Urayo Hunu. Almost yama 30 capacity building.
Yeah.
I've met with the army chiefs. Omokra de ya apart from the idea more no. Also omo National Defense University.
Yes.
Eba up. Until your plan in the next few years no. Yebema military for no be na akoye PhD.
Okay.
Now Omaba as lecturers for the National Defense University. Instead, say Omba rely on non-military professionals to be teaching.
Wonderful. To the buy na money media for no so.
Book at home about so and also so no. Why are you there? I will let you know how best you can also come in to support, because the challenge I've had with the media is getting the leadership.
President.
GJ. When America say we consultation so kakra. Ti ase wo dem common for how we say yempene. What the for how we say yempene. Now I will have to seek for your guidance and opinion as well.
Yes.
And
I say
as a PNC because you never want me.
Yes, I will you say we say. Yes, I will you say we say. Into you bring here guidance then we see how best to put together another committee to oversee journalists for them.
I see.
But I've tasked and at the personal level, we know more relation to collate or more colleagues in BDN.
Yeah.
Then we see how best we can also support this a manifesto.
Okay.
And yeah, dear crime, na mabo mitrim na me captured in our manifesto. Your mama promised so one central for, because the idea is that a more wide audience.
Yes.
What here you are reaching millions of people.
Yes.
Say a classroom crana mean to me rich.
Yeah.
And to say yes, support to now cyber security now no problem. You just take 10 minutes, 15 minutes of your time educating people who are listening to you on cyber fraud and normal any can say entertaining and say will be sending strange link come out any can say o koboso ne abiadia e be save your money a lot. And because of that, you know, yeah, say supporting central force so am upgrade on capacity.
Great.
Said the bear and also so we have engaged customs a dozen. A dozen normal a dozen
within just 9 months.
Yes, within a short time.
Wow.
Yes, within a short time.
Wow. But what about infrastructure? And then we'll be sending me a message beside say money a regional basis.
No.
Why?
Scholarship management, you know. Me said why, like the answer to the why it has not been so. But ubusamia ubiem bibra one way scandals e beba no.
Enya sem papa.
Because honestly speaking, you bedin komo bi. Onu obi kura din komo say me hwehwe brilliant but needy for until they compare more certificate kura keke nafa bremen. Onu so dey fans.
On interest.
So
yes.
Kwabena so one problem.
Menya lie no.
Say o de wo adwuma ne say akwala bia onim say wa ben no. Fa ne bra keke na ye moa no. Kofa ne bra na ye moa enu so ye problem Kwabena. Obi so the condition akoto ho o de amani free say kona kofa bra no onu so the condition here then ato so imagine 16 offices running, you can't contain it.
You can't contain it.
You can't contain it.
I share your burden.
Say one baby yes, at least level we na juma no ba only 1 year. It say government local tertiary scholarship and no pay na yearly. Dia kan nyina ye bilateral scholarship say be a hungry for advertise be a nipa 100 pe be a Algeria they buy pe nipa 40. I don't know how do you coordinate it at the national level.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Say what you say.
Matthias say honorable
but there is a problem with your listeners nibi.
Tell me.
That problem is that you can't time without number say scholarship the application fee. Free. But Kwabena you be on TSK and whom wakra yira.
Obi asande me na made out of forms have rubber fill.
Yenton forms.
Who control forms no way.
Me see yenton forms be and say
your online will be honest.
The point is even that usually when it comes, so obi or want me Facebook and obi I post.
Okay.
And who post there every information over application now the aba o the bar na ya hwem ebi okra na numbers na ye pen yitimi nya ne pepepe it happens that applicants na ye omudi buy ni na ne aso ni na koma embassy no
omo person mbeko o person me NDC ni media nanti abehye wonsem I didn't so ntesa go online and do it
what I say
also online so I now as a woman tiffy free online online why no say you come and
na make say
on say what's your Facebook name
Alex Kwakwasa foji and na make say ye wo suban kitingiti bia wo say ye so ye gitum say e part of us
online na dis among us
the point obi wo ha what bus scholarship secretary to okra mpo ai bia wade application na to o person oji obi number go opposite opposition no who in certain way be say as we sure so benya ade na say
na make say no you doing too much. You don't
need to talk to anybody, and that is why we have created a scholarship review committee. That review committee is going to consider applications and obey a moment. So the only thing that gets to me is the recommendation for the scholarships to be awarded to. Meaning what? Yeah. So I don't want to even come face to face with anybody who wants to apply for scholarship.
I see.
I can't contain that pressure.
Sure.
Kwabena, me can't and net pressure be a bar so I'm a digani free officer.
Easy.
What I say, so yeah, try your best say, but I don't know who deserve ya on Sabe then, on Sabeka. Kwabena,
paperless, you want to do paperless?
Yes. So, and your friend Amako will be Wajimi Sika. Shares our scholarships 2 years Mediterranean in March 17th and 14th.
But make sure that Obizu got travel be and not creative fake.
I will go bit. Me and Amity hey. Scholarship a simple rule. I had to say they apply for any other thing or government agency. Ya catch or say Jessica. I didn't know be a catch or say TSK bitia. Kwabena, I didn't see a Jessica. Also will be by or say man application fee also see matia. Don't pay. And yet the me call IGP hui. Ye the number 2 jar, ye the reported from. Ye cry ye the atuabon say obi yes sir, try video. A WhatsApp number send the call a cyber crime for direct.
I see.
But I think you have to go regional talk and meet with the other local media houses at
yes.
regional level. Or the Nkombo amount. Then I am say who can say you don't have a communication department.
Yes.
Something that you have to push for it because that is the only place that they can disseminate the information quicker. They were in your bar your president Valentina Waha na ama brakona your president.
Anyway, Kwagu, that's so near Babidin Common. I didn't know the Jagana for, I didn't catch a Ghana for, I didn't catch a Domon person office a deal.
Dear, my person may catch a woman, and Kwabena Mammy fa showing soon solve a problem.
Yes.
I appreciate say your followers. Time be any probably be may show so crowd your course. Course on the bar, you bet me answer be by any nana, you bet me answer. But obi ohwa Kwabena obefrel phone so nti we scholarship no ye ne sen nti afre na me office no me o se me jade me na why inquiries for me obi wa no ye wo desk for inquiries at least obetimi aba office oba ye wo inquiries so before you come to me bia opese one me ba be kan ho se
o ye ndis nti chinchina
and sometimes Nipan crowd no kasa, you don't know whether the person is recording you because we have millions of supporters in the NDC, and I was only based in Accra and if you like Ashanti region, so I wouldn't have the capacity to know everybody. And sometimes, oh friend, yes, you are a comrade, but for security reasons, I cannot have every conversation with you on phone.
I'm first creating 20. And today say nipa 100 ne befra apart from official you calls.
Yes.
That's also before be akwa unyare within 1 month unko da hospital.
What I say?
No, let me help you.
Na me kwaku course me so obi to be frame sa no one fa no attest o. Ya de tumi na mamu awie na wo bobie ujimi e na me frame amomfa. Na so me nya de ai me Bobie Ansah ntimi nya omobo de ya mi ntimi me masa nya omobo me ya de me de me ko he ya me dai ya omo ya de ma omo no omo
oh print press
so you see so that is the problem and I share your pain but we also talk to the grassroots on your behalf any other appointees behalf say omunya botrena enema be fine
no Bobie
so
just to him say they should have a date that they receive the party food soldiers. Maybe what do you look at within the week? Maybe it is Wednesdays and Friday, maybe 2 p.m. going now. Just when you do that and paste it on your come to see you.
I don't know any problem.
Oh, say Obama period, maybe from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
To say for problem Abra say me buy no wa hwe nkrofo me de wan hwe me ye no ho time kura ehu.
There was a day.
Hey, I remember it.
Kwabena, there was a day. 5 but my free office at 6 something. Me nam council Kofi I will go be their friend me say and NDC phobia bamechi. So I had to come back to the office at 7 something and left there at 9.
Oh. Because you are no probable juma.
I'm no probable juma. One maswa ye masa for the position no wasisa.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe say people
Kafra. I don't envy you anyway. Any chief of staff need your mama and your mobile.
No, that's not the schedule.
Now, Kwabena, you know, say even as colleagues, you know, and you'll be able to our friend now. Unyano, your minister be our friend. There are ministers if we call them on to me and we have 2 days, 3 days. And Sakura no our family.
Unyano.
But you say normal
because the chief of staff me friend no one fa me say friend anopa one fa anopa me friend ewia one fa ewia me friend ewia. Thank you so much. I will go bit quick one. The kind of revelations from Security and Exchange Commission and the Asafoja catch within the next 5 minutes. Tell us what do you think?
Bobie medase mame mamo trinkwa say citizens so about 7 years na me kai pass mustati free mo old building so na I used to come and I had number from more phone so
yeah
until this 7 years then I say yeah baba mam won producers any omo ba any guesser because so your program now without the guesser na enye program bia but me say we get so aboa ma program na very reliable program Ghana for na about 2 o'clock na eti ntim mamotirinkwa for succeeding 7 years we say fa program na free we be utie we say fa program na free anajo sena we start we yere anajo
yes
kopu 10 pm na mo say dan no say dabe mo yere anajo mo person fambra awia no enso na eboa pa but na say let me person bisa ya ye be ma your friends men sometimes say the organization na ojai no
onyaye
da be so say yes deputy CEO to oya deputy CEO no how no appoint here so ompe obi a ono so o kuduro eni nimdie no ombe start as a because since o take over appointment no menti as a bium obi to say Nana Otu or a very brilliant person. These are the guys that can take that challenge to work. Hey, me hano 2014. Not there was nothing like important export association. So
yes.
Me family siga koto krata registration form no. E ko pay importers. They are almost sign it. They are ma register. Me and time siga e ko rent small office, huh? What do you mean? And me press conference say there's a need for this group of people to have somebody advocating. My year Jumanasa could be people say no, I see me call shipping school and me call Regular Maritime University acquire Port and Shipping Administration. Okay, MBA, Masters of Administration. You get what I'm saying? Yes, so we need people to take up. Yeah, in the try office there, go looking for a white collar job. But revelation now Asafo check, right? Alex Asafo Ajay there or hano. Say I will go with
Safwa saying.
The person onko suen nema bebre. I mean in my field of work, say maritime issues. Now me say me sorry and me say yamma me scholarship. Yes am me yiri, yamma me kola me jiri say enkoyi. These guys were getting milking the poor people of Ghana. Now revelation na ya who 2024 election na say na Ghana for na ya job because of that. Because I'm say baby by now scholarship issues ebedan didn't say now it was rich people rather look at former national service boss, deputy boss.
Yes.
In kunu at that level. On team finance no eco school. So you could see said instead of giving to a year for so that's for a kind of your scholarship secretary embo a year for no na the boy the rich people. That was why one of the advocates can say MPP there no they rather came to tax a year for edema rich people because remember say real estate for no mo abolish mo VAT ukoko for plane na very fuel na abolish mo VAT but we ukoko top issue na ya the tax too so we ukoko top fanta na say tax stamp too so what you say. So that was what I said at that time. Say Ghana for any person between real estate $100,000 $200,000 and you buy ministries messenger wa cleaner wa obere in sense can koto ana how many times did they take plane to Tamale and Kumasi onye enti MPP buy no na because of him for but the papa be aba and meno kasano inflation about 9.5 single digit na
the last time it happened was 2009 2010.
Yes. So if this is not good and I then another issue, so another issue statement say Agua African Growth Opportunities Act no.
Okay.
And 30th September about a year. Ghana for ya fan nema free ha na ya koton our amanne America to take care of your own workers and obusia for no ene sa opportunity no any obium. Donald Trump or the first was it 10% on Ghanaian export tariff. Later I say I've called it off. I've suspended it. I will give country to come and negotiate. I was thinking say AU African Union will go to negotiate on behalf of African countries because the AGUA was for African countries, isn't it?
Yes.
For economic growth.
That's right.
Unfortunately, Yankwana as a bloc. Unfortunately, I don't know Ghana too as a government. I don't know what actually happened. Yankwana, Yako, minim And the Trump say, my pledge will cry for 10%, no, Medima 50%. I was thinking, say, Tama or my pay EU, African and my friend, United Nations General Assembly, no, or more drafting the speeches, no, they should have chipped it in. They say, Yana Ghana, Yana America, Yawa Yanko for, Yanko for. Yet, every as you speak, we are receiving deportees from other African countries, Eba Ghana, Anambwa.
That's right.
On my page, Mama Koka say, the key, one of the key persons, so Ombra, to be paired with him, was denied entry because of that time multiple entry visa no Ghana no restrictions no you could not admitted to enter to US. America na America for say okay ya reverse it. Even students the B1 and B2 ni na and F1 ni na almost reverse my the normal way we use pro you don't see. But unfortunately
sometimes it's also because of the rural Ghana a player.
Yes,
in
exactly.
Accepting sir and
absolutely. And to me see, personally appeal to His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. Me can pass when EU, UK break the what we call Brexit, right? The Brexit. When UK break out from EU at the time, they call individual countries to come and do what? And negotiate it.
Yeah.
Ghana went and negotiated for our produce and our product and this with UK to start memorandum of understanding. But when it came to the US, no, as you speak, no, I think naturally legislature, no, it has come to an end because it was done 2000, it was reviewed 2015, then for another 10 years until law expired. What's not expired? What it means to say, or be about fund name free to say. Blue Skies send drinks the corner to say gamut, to say textiles, to say cocoa derivative and jewelry, say butter. Now to utime say butter. Me ma produce confuse. Because of we having this agua special organization, special arrangement with Ghana, company free America back Ghana. They came and set up at Free Zone. They produced their product. 70% they were sending it to the Europe and to the US market. In fact, we had 2024 and 2023, 2024 there about Ghana export alone to the US market was 10 point something billion. And then many workers the whole total was 30 point something, and Ghana got 10 point something billion. Until we share as to speak no. Last year alone, we also had $340 million coming from the US market, and then we can so be our fund name and then sign them number America near Masa 50% now. Or the but beside by say what is the direction? Minister of Trade, day. Your Excellency President Mahama, you remember 24-hour economy is part of it, no? Export accelerated growth. You remember? I'm in that committee. How are we going to do? I think we need President Donald Trump like President Mahama. That's the President Mahama but we'll reach out to Donald Trump to see whether if there will be something special for Ghanaian produce. Even though I know say yet to find never call China, we have 0% entering to the market. China will not tax us anything. But that is a new market we are now going to emerge. But I think say there's a need for government of Ghana to reach out to the US to see how best, because I don't know many companies will fold up. Many people who cannot pay that 50% will fold up, and that's going to be a challenge. Right now, we need to your dollar issue. So this export, this non-traditional commodity export, and this dollar back to support the Bank of Ghana. And if this is going to be a challenge that Obia no ordinary name say back the call on to because 10%, 15% tariff from there. What it means that we are going to have a very serious challenge in our dollar as we use in trade in this country.
Thank you so much. Amanyuku Ampanyufua Inyamu Irasa Foje. Thank you, Mensa Thompson. Mahu Mira Bonzo in the building. One of the kindest men you ever meet. Mr. Bonzo is such a fantastic man. Now, send away the politics, no. I am now, Mr. Bonzo. Even if it is 2 minutes, I'm okay. But what I say? No, come. Whatever Chagana for, and they are 7 years of citizen show, and Unim say, we are more than a comrade. I
mean, 7 years of grace and IC.
That's right.
Yemfa Asidama Ochedia Ponyakompon, media jumano, and now from especially Obesoya Humachin, Ube Titi, Sema, of course, we have to production now, Ube, and then Obabetnas in Casa, and then normally, it's a first program via Baswa. We look at the presenters, but then let's give credit to the production team.
That's
because
right.
Sometimes someone so far obi tifinu ti news and oti program office bia nipa ba ko pena ye but nipa guetre.
That's right.
Jumano.
That's right.
I think say a bomb about so 7 years of grace and mercies, and therefore obi program be started 3-4 months na ago, but 7 years it is spiritually, because the program has come to stay, because it's a moment for rest.
That's right.
There's a on the 7th day he rested. After no share no account. So this is good, this is bad, but it's a be more in this program. I could you pen so be you can critique and also criticize other programs because you've passed through it. More be do the resting place. And what we will say is Nyamishra Monkoso. Say Accra FM this program Citizen Show. Abe or my moon citizen beer or ahano say or what in the program. I remember I said to me post to Tamdiana Mebaha me post to me WhatsApp status. Now me criminals my phone and friend almost share radio no share radio no and I'm someone called Facebook.
That's
and
right.
Whatever happened here they saw it on Facebook and then so I think say Moya the Nyamishra.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And near Emma managing is Kwam and yes officially you said that truck rat at you invite Mr. Bonzo. In fact Mr. Bonzo ever check in the business or yet some important meeting. And also what he said he did his 7th anniversary. He drove all the way from there and Wabe joined you. He's such a great man. I mean, Mr. Mozo, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
See now a great man. So Obia I mean no too it didn't want dance here.
Yeah, dance here. Come, my friends here no, but you first the PC ma atifo and one na EDH Facebook look show we nyamwa anke nru ba bia na yenna Kwabena Bobie Ansah ase serade eso no dae na ene yinyina yidimu bi of course yenna your production crew led by NS Kwame Kwache and the rest of the team yenna omunso ase adwuma from pennyfo so munyina awe ababa na abra Bobie or true program who create Komal Haji Seidu Agungu Wamwamu na ono so edi osi ema yede oyo ema dwumadi ebamiera munyina ase but kwam ansani ya beko nefas the PSA ma 2074 mixture na yenna imbus heba mission so ase the luckiest there yenim say obia gusu de akire up to date estate construction and so aso yasin Go TV and Sam George Adaruma yate asemde ebeko so saa enti no Marcot Surgicals and so our have bills microcredit honum ne ajebesia na fin so mensa aka promo no na wa use MTN app no obi edidi peche na menka mo so se emu a obi ato na ye Gini rice die free sabre kosi bronya 120 na minim misrewa anwa mo no kura na wo de no a ede no Ghana jollof mo mpa chiri kwan emma me ma me fa dwumadi ni nsianom me dindi nana otu dako meto baby a Kwabena Bobie Ansah edisi nyame adomo a kwam ochina ye besin hia ana ochina ye mama Lodina Mahama adwuma bi ye enti ochina ye the food dozia ebeba but yen kai empanyufo se ye redu machi ne ndisi fo aban ye omo ya de ba yesro mo akronfo no omo nche oman ehia empa I'm out. Stay on.
Ghana for bills are coming home. Bills set 2025 EDA.